Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Mm-hmm. There we go. All right. I'm good. Let me go back. Oh, people already in here. What's going on, y'all? Caught me eating some nice little square vanilla wafers. These are delicious. Oh my god. Bad for you though. Do not eat these. They're terrible for you. But I will continue. How we doing, guys? Y'all was telling me if I had wafer flakes in my beard, right? Y'all would tell me? You would? Y'all love me like that? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How we doing though? What's going on? Let's wash that down real quick. How are we doing today? I am back with a vengeance. Those are too good. Oh my god. Those are way too good. Holy snick. Oh! What's going on though? How we doing, guys? Thanks for the road, Trey. How we doing? What's going on? It is I, Jace, your favorite scientist, Jace the Pickup Scientist. I'm the guy you come to ask all questions relating to dating, relationships, social dynamics, pickup artistry, seduction, attraction, all that crazy stuff. I'll be here for the next few couple hours, and I'll be answering all your questions as detailed as possible. Please bear with me if I don't get to your question on time. I do like to take my time with each question. I like to be as detailed as possible. I don't like to give out half-ass advice. I really love to contextualize what I say. I like to be understood. I like to be properly construed, all that kind of stuff. So I might take a little, while to get to your question, but I eventually will. But how are we doing today, guys? What's going on with you? How you guys been? What's going on? Tell me about your day and all that good stuff. How we doing, Mexicans? Bro, post more on YouTube. I will. Have you tried Filipino food? Yes. But it's been years, though. It's been years since I tried Filipino food. It's been, like, maybe up to 5, maybe 6 years. I know it was before the pandemic. Holy snap, it has been a while. You're right. Damn. But it's good, though. I remember it being really good. Because I'm Nigerian, so Filipinos are just Nigerians with extra steps, in my opinion. I know I said that about almost every other country, but Filipinos especially. This is something I found out about people from the Philippines and people from people from Singapore, especially, by the way, pretty much have a Nigerian accent, which is trippy to me. Singaporean girls sound just like Nigerian girls. What the hell is that about? But also, Filipino food is very similar to Nigerian food. So, yeah. Plus, they're also like a warrior race of people. They like to fight. Pretty dope people. Pretty fun. How you doing, Raj? How you doing, Lindahl? Jollibee. You ever think of streaming on Twitch or Kick? Probably Twitch. I'm trying to see if I can get a Kick deal. I'm not nearly big enough to get a deal out of any of them. But yeah, if I ever do, it would have to be like solid incentives behind it. But for now, YouTube and TikTok are good for me. For now. Y'all know the entire thing going on with TikTok anyway, so this party's about to be over. Let's see. There we go. Doing Ramadan, bro, it ain't easy. Oh yeah, you guys are fasting right now, right? Ooh. Muslim fasting isn't that hard though, to be honest. Correct me if I'm wrong, and forgive me if I sound ignorant, but you do have to break your fast sometime around the evening though, right? Every single day? Because that's different from the kind of fasting I do. When I fast, I just don't eat at all. It's nothing but water, a little salt in the water, keep your electrolytes up, you know how that goes. But, yeah, you gotta like break your fast every other day, right? Is that correct or am I tripping here? let's see. Oh, give me 1 second, guys. Let me set this up real quick. I almost forgot because TikTok makes it so that I have to do this so that there we go. Much better. All right, there we go. So yeah, tell me. 30 days. So you gotta go 30 days not eating anything for the first half of the day, and in the second half you can eat, right? What do you call that? Your iftar? How about not mixing up these words? I grew up in Nigeria, so half my friends growing up are Muslim. You would think I would know more about it by now. But my apologies. My apologies. You don't have to. The companions used to break their fast every other day, so no water or nothing for 2 days straight if you want. Oh, okay, that's gangster. That's gangster. I respect that. I respect that. But I would assume most people aren't doing that though, right? Because me, again, like I said, my standard fast are like 7 days and 7 nights. So it's pretty much just a jug of these every day with a little salt in it. And then, yeah, that's just how I do it, you know. Were you talking about the Avatar? I saw the comments. It was crazy. Oh, yeah, the Avatar. It's kind of funny to me how a lot of people have completely emotionally invested in that show, which is, I mean, to be fair, it's a great show. Don't get it twisted. That's why I'm even talking about it. I love the show. But I had an opinion that a lot of people did not agree with, which was if you were to extrapolate Katara, Zuko, and Aang in real life, Katara would choose Zuko over Aang. That's how it would happen. And we know that because that's how it always happens with girls. What guy do girls like to choose more? The aggressive go-getter of a guy in the form of Zuko, or like the little goofy kid with the bad habit of procrastination? Usually the Zukos win over the Aangs in real life. And that's what I tried to say, and a lot of people like took it to mean I don't know the show or I didn't watch the same show. It's like, no, I'm giving my opinion on the show. It's fine. But people went crazy with that though. People went crazy with that. It's fine though. I get it. People don't like their ideas getting challenged. It is what it is. Yeah, bros, from sunrise to sunset. That's gangster. I can respect that. How often do you do 7-day fast? I try to do it at least twice a year. So my last one was first week of December last year. But that was my last one. But yeah. You gotta make more videos about cartoons and media, bro. That should get you bare views. It does. I noticed it does. And I'm probably gonna make one about Naruto. Because let's be honest, that whole triangle, that love triangle between Aang, Katara, Zuko, it's literally the same thing between Naruto, Sakura, Sasuke. Except in Naruto, the guy who should have gotten the girl actually got the girl. That's the only difference. Like, I remember growing up as a kid watching Naruto, and then eventually, you know, Shippuden happens, everyone gets married, blah blah, Shippuden ends. And I remember dudes were actually saying stuff like, Naruto should have ended up with Sakura. Why did Sakura end up with Sasuke? Why did Naruto get... And I'm like, if you're living vicariously through Naruto, you must hate yourself to think that Naruto should have ended up with Sakura. Because that means that in your real life, you chase girls that don't like you relentlessly. That's messed up. Like, I hate to make it sound more serious than it is, because again, these are just cartoons. These are fictional characters. But at the same time, that is very telling on how you think love should work. And how you think women should work. Like, if you justify Naruto ending up with Sakura, it's just as bad as Katara ending up with Aang. That's not how it's supposed to happen. That's not how it's supposed to happen. Those are the weaker men. Unfortunately, they're the main stars of the show, you know. But they groveled and begged at the feet of those love interests, the women. And that's why in real life, if you did that, you wouldn't get those women, right? It would be the cool, mysterious, spiky-haired, dark-haired dude off to the side that's got nothing but one purpose on his mind. With Zuko, it's capturing the Avatar / helping beat the Fire Lord. And then with Sasuke, it's getting revenge on his brother / protecting the Leaf Village. But that's the kind of guy that the girl would chase in real life. And we all know this. We all know this. I don't know why this is an argument for anybody. We all know this. But, you know, people want to live vicariously through these MCs. And that's why you don't get no bitches. Do you see it? That's why you don't get girls in real life. Because, like, Naruto's cool. But at the end of the day, your real life habits have to match the results you want to see. So in real life, don't be Naruto, be Sasuke. Don't be Aang, be Zuko. Just saying, right? Don't be Izuku Midoriya. Actually, don't be Bakugo either. Be Todo. I mean Todoroki. Be Todoroki. He's chill. Anyway, let's see. My man, how you doing, Ryu? Welcome back. Welcome back. I literally just asked you something on DM, but I'll ask it here again. Oh, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. DMs. I gotta go through my DMs at some point. It's getting ridiculous. Krabby Patties or kelp juice? Kelp has a juice? I thought it was just the soda. I thought it was like, Dr. Kelp, Dr. Kelp, Dr. Kelp Light. There's a kelp juice? Anyway, Krabby Patties. That's what I said about Sakura. Literally, yeah. Right, that pity love. Grown men wanting pity love is always going to be weird to me. Like, that's weird. Like, even if it's fictional characters, the fact that you think that makes sense. Like, you don't see how Aang and Katara ending up is an insult to Aang? Yeah. Hey, Cue Ball. What's going on? The closer video was amazing. The closer video? Which one? Closer video? Which closer video are we talking about? I don't know what... Closer? Which one? I don't know what you're talking about. Saying Aang got that avatar wrist. That's the thing though, he ain't got no wrist. I'm leveling up at my exponential rate right now. Okay, let's see that. Oh, that's you, Summit. How you doing, Summit? I didn't notice you through your new profile picture. Master, good to see you. Thank you, Yoda. Appreciate that, man. Welcome back. Welcome back. We're here to, do our thing. You know how we do. Bad boys because it's their adventures and they're toxic. It's not just the toxicity. It's the adventurousness. It's the fact that he's too busy chasing something that isn't her, and that's what excites her, right? Aang was focused on Katara. Zuko was focused on his mission, whether it was restoring his honor or helping the Avatar. But they're always mission focused, and that's why they're more exciting. It's harder to get their validation. Aang was trying to lay at Katara's feet. In real life, Aang wouldn't get a girl like Katara. It's that simple. I learned it from the Robert Greene book, The Art of Seduction. True. It actually does go into that a little bit. Well, what are they called? Not the rakes, not the dandies. I can't remember the name of the archetype that Robert Greene gave them, but the guy that women chase relentlessly because they just don't give women the kind of attention that they're used to, right? Baki Riz, Baki Hama went on an ad hoc date. What's an ad hoc date? I don't know that with this girl. It was good, but after then I started removing my attention. Okay. Am I doing it all wrong or am I fumbling the game? When you removed your attention, why did you do it? Everything you do in the game, you have to have a reason behind it. You don't just do it for doing sake. And then you also have to know that if you get yourself into certain types of situations in the game, then it's not necessary to do certain things. Like I keep telling people, push pulling is amazing for getting her attention, spiking up emotions and tension, and positioning yourself higher than her psychologically speaking. But if you walk up to her and for whatever reason she already places you on a pedestal, there's no need to push pull anymore. You can do a light teasing and flirting here and there, but that harsh initial neg is unnecessary because you've already achieved psychological positioning without it. So don't rely on the technique. Understand the principle behind them and then know where you're at so that you can know what principle to apply. Does that make sense? So when you say you were removing your attention, I gotta ask you, why did you do that? Why did you feel the need to do that? What was going on that made you feel like you needed to remove your attention? Hopefully, you can tell me that maybe you were getting to a point where it felt like you were trying too hard for her attention, or that she wasn't chasing yours enough. Maybe then it would be justified for you to do that. Other than that, you probably just pulled your attention away for no reason at all. For no reason at all. So, why? Thoughts on the new episode of Invincible just released yesterday. I have not seen it yet. I will see that tonight. I have not seen that yet. I heard about it though. I'm definitely gonna see it. I will see that tonight for sure. I approached this girl earlier, got her number. The entire interaction was nearly flawless in my opinion, but then when I texted her, she read it and hasn't said anything since. Not necessarily tripping, but just curious what I should do. Should I shoot her another text? And if so, what can I say? So you're gonna wait a few days before you shoot her another text, like maybe 3 to 4 days. preferably past this entire weekend. You don't want girls to think you don't have fun weekends if you know, push comes to shove. But at the same time, when you do text her, I wouldn't try to be too entertaining or too grabby for attention. You want to just say something like, "You're not dead, are you?" Or "Did you get my text?" Something like that. You don't want to make it look like you're trying too hard for attention. The reason for that is simple. There's a very slim line between cool guy and dancing monkey. You don't want to jump into dancing monkey. If you try to text her too quickly, or something else to instigate at this point, it'll be a little too dancing monkey. So shoot her a regular text like, "Hey, you didn't die, didn't you?" And then go from there. If you don't hear anything from her from that point, charge it to the game. There's more girls to talk to. You're fine. You're fine. What's your thoughts on therapy? You feel like it's a waste of time or worth pursuing? It's much of a big of a waste of time. Terrible waste of time. Especially if you're a dude. Because therapy is essentially solving your problems by talking about it. Which as a man you can't do. That's how women solve their problems, right? Women love to talk about their problems. Without solving anything, women feel better already just hashing it out. That's how they function. That's why I keep telling people, therapy is a feminine thing, right? Our therapy, as much as people like to call it toxic, is doing something about the problem directly, right? That's why men probably find more solace in just going and hitting the gym and getting muscle out of the pain, right? It sounds toxic, but that's how men function. That's what the testosterone we have coursing through our veins will drive us to do. That's what will make us feel better, is feeling like we're in control of something. Like we have some outlet or avenue for certainty in our lives. That's why the gym is awesome. Am I saying it's the only way to do it or the best way to do it? No, there's many different ways you can do it as a man. But in general, it's just solving the problems head on. Stop thinking about talking about the problem. Just start figuring out how to effectively, step by step, do something that'll make the problem go away, right? So that's my thoughts on therapy. So what made you choose the topics to talk about in? Like, why do I do this? Because this was a big problem for me personally at one point, and then I solved it, and boom, now I'm helping you guys solve it as well. Simple as that. What's your racial preference in girls? I don't really have a racial preference. I have a face, proportionality, and height preference. Whatever color that might come in, I don't really care, and my record will show that, by the way. I think these days I'm more with like white and Latina girls. But for the most part, if she's a certain height, she has a certain symmetry of her face, and she has a certain proportionality head to toe, I'm straight. All my bitches tall. I love tall women. That's my thing. I'm 6'2" myself. I shouldn't like tall women, but I do. I also like women that, again, are very pretty. I call them bird faces. It's such a weird thing to say, but I like women that have a narrow looking face. It's kind of like mine, but, you know, a little more feminine, if that makes sense, like curvy. And then, obviously, proportionality. I like things to make sense no matter what way you want to go. Front and back has to be the same in terms of like closest size and everything. Different parts of her body. Like I'm one of those weird guys that cares about stuff like thigh gaps. I don't even know if you all even know what that is. I think most people don't. I like hair length in a certain way. I like teeth formation a certain way, because as you can see, I have amazing teeth. Like I have all my wisdom tooth, all that crazy stuff. So I look out for those things. Again, me personally, you don't have to do all that. But physically, that's as far as it goes for me in women. I have a very specific type, but color is not a part of it. Just looking at myself and my own actions, I have never cared about color that much. Like, all my bitches look the same, but barely any of them are the same color. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's as far as I go. I blocked Cafeteria Girl because she won't say she's done to come, but text about something else. So she was trying to get your attention with something else. Why did you block her though? Why were you feeling that emotional that you felt the need to block her? You shouldn't have cared in the first place. My bad, guys. You shouldn't have cared in the first place. You should have just ignored her. That's all. Just ignored her. It's fine. Wow, Sensei preaching. Thank you. Took my ex back. She moved on within a week talking to my friend. Should I take her seriously? So she moved on within a week talking to your friend, and now she's back. I need more context there. Like, what happened? Because did she do the whole friend thing because she was trying to get you jealous? Or was she really trying to find a way to betray you? And also, what's up with that friend? You can't really call him your friend anymore, obviously. That's someone that'll take your food from out of your own mouth. So I need more context behind that, though. I don't want to give you terrible advice in either direction. Give me more detail. What happened there? Let's see. All right, you think masculinity is for men is different than now? I don't know if that's. I'm sure English isn't your first language, but let me try to understand what you meant by that. You think masculinity for men is? Are you talking about like the difference between masculinity back in the day versus now? It's not. Like masculinity as a concept hasn't changed, but yes, there's a lot less masculine men, right? There's a lot less aggressive men. There's a lot less assertive men. There's a lot less confident men, for sure. Over time, for whatever reason. I'm saying whatever reason, like I don't know the reason. The reason is we've messed up our water and food supply. A lot of the things that we consume on a daily basis make us less masculine and less aggressive. And we just try to think of ways to reprioritize the world that isn't conducive to our biological makeup. So a lot of men end up missing out on those very key points in their life where they're supposed to prove and earn their masculinity and their manhood. So a lot of men aren't really men. They're just grown babies, unfortunately. But yeah, that's what I think about that. Appreciate that, bro. She was easily a 10, so I got a crazy confidence boost post pickup, but her not replying was a little demotivating. The self-belief never leaves up. I hope you do think like that. I hope you don't allow that to shake you in any way. Also, it happens. You never know what could have been the situation. She might have had another guy in there. Maybe the conversation did not go as well as you thought it did. Because her going along with whatever you're saying and nodding in unison or laughing at everything you say, that can be good. But honestly, I always like to judge the quality of the conversations I have with women primarily by the tension levels. So I always think to myself whenever I get a girl's number and I want to text her, how often did I make her get into her own head? How often did I make her doubt herself? How often did I make her qualify herself to me? If the answer to those questions is not too many times, then I'm not expecting a text back anyway. Right? Because you can have an amazing conversation with a woman and it goes well and it's all swell. Oh yeah, you're talking about this and that and it lasts for an hour. Da, da, da. But if you can't think about enough times during the conversation where she genuinely felt the need to impress you, then there's probably no sexual tension there. That's how guys get into the friend zone all the time. It happens all the time. So that might have been it. If that's the case, you're fine. Just don't make that same mistake with the next girl. That's the point of pickup. There's always more girls to talk to. What's your thought on pickup lines? I have pickup lines that I actually have in my course, The Interview Light. But here's the thing, though. I always tell people the lines are important. The lines are a vehicle to communicate ideas. But what matters even more is the intentions you have behind them. So your playfulness, your nonchalance, your freedom from outcome, your ability to say things without hoping for something in return. This is like the biggest thing whenever you're giving pickup lines. You can say whatever you want to a girl, really, as long as you're doing three major things. One, you're getting her attention off rip. Two, you're creating an opportunity for tension in the conversation, which is where you can begin to have sexual tension and all that stuff. But three, you make sure that when you're giving the line, it has the undertone of playfulness to it. It's very, very important. No matter what kind of pickup line you use, and obviously I'm going to boost mine in there because the way I structured each of my lines is it helps you solve all those things, in totality, really, except for the playfulness part. That's still up to you. But yeah, no matter what you say, just make sure you're doing all those three things and you should be fine. That's really my thing with pickup lines. It's not what you say. It's not even how you say it. It's the intention you have behind it. If you go into there, go talk to a woman and your mindset is, I hope I don't fuck up, or I hope I don't say something bad, or I hope I don't, I hope she doesn't reject me too harshly, then it'll show in the way you're speaking. And then you will get the kind of results you deserve from that point. But if you go just thinking to yourself, I wonder how funny this will be to say this, then you'll end up coming up with your own amazing lines. And then on top of that, you'll end up just saying it in the way that you can get away with it all the time. Playfulness is the key to getting away with all social errors. I keep saying this all the time. For those of you in the self-belief question, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, that's my, opinion on pickup lines. Men's therapy is accomplishing. Yeah, accomplishment is definitely part of it for sure. Men, we feel more fulfilled when we accomplish new stuff. Absolutely. That too is a trap though. You don't want to become an accomplishment machine, because if you always need to accomplish something to feel good, then that means you don't feel good in yourself. And that in itself is a different trap. The idea is to learn how to be good and feel good in yourself, regardless of external crutches. Sure, accomplish. Definitely do that. But the real goal, the ultimate goal, is being okay in knowing that you are the God of your universe, and you don't need to add more to that to be better. Does that make sense? You are you, and you are amazing as you are. Everything else you do from that point on is just bonuses. Does that make sense? Hope it does. Hope it does. List of things I can say or text to increase sexual tension in the very beginning stage. That's what my opener's guide is for. Go to my link in my bio. Oh yeah, it's not even up there anymore. It's in the interview light course. To give some context, she told me earlier she was going to her friend's birthday party. So I imagine she's there not trying to text me right now. She also has a number for another country, so that might be it too. Yeah, I mean, you never know. Don't take it personal, no matter what it may be. Even if it is that she saw your text and she was like, ugh, gross, that guy, I never want to see him again. It's okay, regardless of what it is. It's fine. Keep it pushing. Go talk to the next girl. Go talk to the next girl. What about your standard and principles? So, are you talking about like, because I know someone asked me before what my physical type was, and then, I'm guessing that's what you were talking about. So, standards and principles, I keep it very simple when it comes to the kind of women I date and what I'm looking for. And that is, does she listen to me? That's it. Like, the irony to how game works is that when you're starting out in game, you have low standards. When you get intermediate in game, you start having higher standards, but then also asking for a lot of stuff. But getting even better in game is realizing you're never going to find a woman that has all those things. So then all of a sudden what happens is you now become more realistic about your standards and realize that there's only really one standard you should have as a man. And that is that a woman is compliant to you at all times. That's it. Once she is compliant, no matter what else she may have, you can always correct, adjust, add, or subtract. As long as she's listening to you, you can make her what you want. And that's kind of the goal of relationships. A relationship is really a build a bitch workshop for you and her. That's really what it is, right? There's a reason pimps talk the way they talk about women, like bring this horse into my stable, or train the bitch up. They say stuff like that because that is what a relationship with a woman is. You're the coach, she's the athlete. And you gotta do and create a system that works so that she becomes more of what you want her to be. But understand, every good coach understands this already. You're never gonna find an athlete that's already amazing the way you want them to be. They're gonna have raw materials. And then you're gonna do your job as a good coach to shave those off and sharpen things here and there and correct this thing and adjust that thing and add and subtract this other thing and create these new skills or remove these bad habits. And it's a process, and it'll take time. And every girl is a project, some more than others for sure. But the only thing I really worry about, especially when I'm dealing with a girl from the jump, is does she listen? If that's settled, I can do whatever else I want to do with that girl. That is it. I can do whatever else as long as she listens. Does that change the time oh yeah, wait, no, I haven't read that one. Does that change the time I decide to text her, or still 3 days? If you know she's somewhere and she might not be able to get to her phone, then yeah, maybe not 3 days, maybe 2, but still wait a couple days. You don't want her to think that, she has continuous free access to your attention whenever she feels like it. So you still want to space it out, okay? And that's if she doesn't hit you up first before that point. So chill out. Yo, Brown 47, never held a girl's hands. What do I do? Is there a particular reason you haven't held a girl's hands at 47 years old? Assuming your comment is real, right? Is there a particular reason? Because I want to know what the reason is. I'm interested in learning about human behavior. Can you give me some tips? Well, what about human behavior do you want to know? It's a very vast subject. There's a lot of moving parts when it comes to humans and the way they behave. Simpson or thought daughter. I can correct thought daughter, so I'll take that. Simpson, I can correct that too, but much harder. It's easier to stop a woman from being something she doesn't want to be inherently anyway. No woman wants to be a thought. No woman goes out of her life and out of her way to be like, I'm just gonna be a whore. Like their nature is to find a man that they can truly trust and believe in and just give themselves to, and only him, right? If a woman is a thought, then that means something has gone terribly wrong in her development, right? So it's not hard to correct that. It really isn't. Simps, on the other hand, that's a little harder because men are, for lack of a better word, most men are pathetic human beings. That's why they're simps. That's why simps exist in the first place, is that most men would rather grovel at a woman's feet and beg for crumbs of punani in their DMs than do the harder thing and become a strong man that is a leader that can disagree with a woman without flinching and then earn their respect that way. Most men are, the temptation for a man to be a simp, in my opinion, is even greater than the temptation for a woman to start an OnlyFans account. Real talk. Real talk. So I can correct thought, daughter. I can deal with that. My friends told me if she don't come, then block her because she's wasting my time not coming when I ask. Your friends sound like pussies. Don't listen to them, so listen to me. Your friends are going to get you in trouble because your friends are forcing you to be unnecessarily aggressive, right? This is why those red pill content guys just, like, stop it. It's okay. Don't forget now, women are human beings. I feel like I have to start saying this as a mantra now because I feel like a lot of dudes don't seem to get this. Women are human beings, guys. And they're not just human beings. They're human beings that are, in most cases, deathly afraid of men. You cannot expect a woman to completely just fall in line without first showing her, A, you're not going to hurt her, B, you have the ability to keep her safe from other people and other threats, right? And C, you're not ever going to allow your emotions to get the better of you because if you do that as a man, that puts her in danger. See the point? So you don't have a right to be mad at a woman for not complying to you if you've not given her a reason to comply. First, go and check yourself and make sure you're giving her a reason to comply. And you want to know how I know you haven't given her a reason to comply? Because look at the way you're listening to your friends that are telling you, you can't you're wasting your time. Yeah, you can do that. But then what happens when the next girl does that? And the girl after that? And the girl after that? A lot of these red pill dudes end up just going through the same cycle of Phil talking stage, Phil talking stage, Phil talking stage, until they meet me. And then I break the cycle. Because it turns out you can't keep doing the same thing multiple times and expecting a different result. That's called insanity. Plus, usually the way to solve this problem is just to look inward. Don't blame them. Blame you. Try that for a second. Blame you. See if you can adjust your behavior. Then go from there. You can't tell yourself you've done everything if you're still getting results you don't like. You know what I mean? So chill out on that for a second. What's up, Jason? I'm late. No, not that late, man. I've been here for like 30 minutes. How you doing, though, Abid? We stopped talking and she didn't know he was my friend. He didn't know she was my ex. Then how much of a friend is he then if he didn't know who you were dating? What's going on with your life? How social are you really? Also, what's happening to them? Like you said, she came back, so I'm guessing they're not messing with each other anymore. And if that's the case, how did that happen? I have questions. By the way, the girl I told you about that I plan to go to Paris with, I gave her the reassurance and we back in contact right now. Spitting game, everything's going smooth. Sounds about right. Fair enough. I didn't doubt you for a second, Rio. You're learning fast. I'm not too surprised. Jace, how can I find out where I went wrong in the relationship to improve? You can ask me specific questions, but also there is a way to test it. Again, you would have to have some level of experience and some smarts to be able to pull this off. You ready? You're going to listen to what she said the problem was, and then you're going to extrapolate from there. This is where a lot of guys don't seem to understand. Like, if a woman tells you she's unhappy in a relationship, there's absolutely nothing wrong with asking her what her grievances are. End of the day, it's your relationship with her. It's your job to fix it because you're the leader of the relationship to begin with, right? So you have to ask her, like, yo, what went wrong? Why do you think we can't work out anymore? And then she'll give you what her reason is. But here's the thing, though. Women are almost never direct about their reasoning. And it's not their fault. It's kind of like their human nature, right? They're always going to tell you the correct information, but shroud it in their emotion. Does that make sense? So you still have to be smart enough to know, okay, she doesn't really mean this, she means this. Like when she says, I just feel like we were always spending time together and I didn't have a chance to miss you. That's just a way of saying you're clingy and I feel like I can replace you every time. What you should have done at that point is to go and do and say things to make her feel like she's replaceable. Right? Because if you just listen to that at face value, you'll think, oh, you just give her some space. But then if you give her space in real life, then she'll just go off to the next guy. And you'll be like, but she said she needed space. I've seen that happen many times, right? Oh, but she said she needed space. I thought I gave her the space. Why is she with this next guy? Because it's not really the space she was asking for. She was asking for the ability to feel something around you closer to competition anxiety. Right? Again, just to give you a slight example, there's like literally hundreds of things that it could be. That's why I'm saying, like, ask me a more specific question, but, you know, it really depends. It really depends. And you have to be smart enough to know what she's saying, what she means when she says it, and then extrapolate from there, you know? That's how it goes, in general. Let's see. If you want, like, a more detailed stuff for yourself, just go get the Science of Breakup series on my TikTok. Going to an anime convention soon. Got any opener recommendations or just tips to keep in mind? Be situational about your openers. If you're going to an anime convention, then that means some of the girls there are going to be cosplaying, right? Why don't you just go into conversations talking about whatever character they're dressed like, right? Because me personally, I'll probably like a character that's dressed like Hinata, right? And there's nothing wrong with me going up to a girl and be like, and she'll probably laugh about it because she thinks it's funny. And, you know, she'll probably mimic me because, again, she thinks it's funny. And then you go, oh, you know what? This is actually a really cool costume. Well done. Give her a high five. Boom. By the way, what's your name? And I know it's not Hinata, so don't lie to me. Right? Go into a conversation from there. But, again, keep your opener situational. No need to use anything that is, like, even stuff from that's, like, canned or planned or anything like that. Nothing like that. Go with what you know. You're already at an anime convention. You know anime. Talk about anime. You're straight. You're good. Just don't be creepy. Don't be boring. And do your best. Oh, this is very important. Do your best to show social calibration, especially in an anime con, right? A lot of the guys there are socially recluse nerds. Let's be honest. They are socially recluse nerds. If you show even a little bit of social calibration, you're going to set yourself so far apart from every other guy, it's going to be impossible for you not to get a lot of play. So if you walk up to a girl, for instance, and then you go, listen, your cosplay is amazing, but I'm trying my best not to look down past your eye because, you know, I don't want to make you feel like I'm ogling you or something. Saying that might sound self-deprecating, but it's one of the smartest things you can say because it's going to show her, oh, you have enough social calibration to know that I would feel uncomfortable if you kept staring at my titties. You see how that works? Or that thing I told you guys about in the previous live where I will purposefully walk almost into a girl on purpose, right? A little too close, I'll break into her bubble, her barrier. And then I'll go, oh, my bad, I apologize, I didn't mean to do that. And then take a physical step back. Why am I doing that? Because I want to show her in real time that I have the ability to self-edit. That I have the ability to stop myself when I make a tiny, unnoticeable social error. Oh, I almost walked into your personal space. I apologize. Walk back, hands in the air. I apologize. Sorry about that. Anyway, what's your name? I think you're cute. Go from there. Right? So, go crazy in that anime con. You're going to have fun. How to conduct aggression in the right way. Is it ever okay to be aggressive to women? Oh, absolutely. Especially when you're naked with them. They love your aggression then. You know. That's when you're going to be the most aggressive most of the time anyway. Go crazy. But the best way to show women aggression is to show it towards something else that isn't them. I've always said that. The best way to show... You want to show them you have the ability to be aggressive. You want to show them that you have the ability to tap into aggression when you need to. But it's almost always better, like 95% of the time better, when that aggression is going towards something else that isn't her. So for instance, if you get angry at someone else in front of her, that's okay. Don't get angry at her. With her, be nonchalant, be playful, be charming, be cute, whatever. But then show aggression and get genuinely pissed off that someone crossed you, or someone didn't do something you wanted them to do, or they disappointed you in some way, they shattered your expectations. Let her see that you are pissed off about something else that isn't her. And then even better, I'm on fire today. Even better, while you're doing that, somewhere in the middle of that, show her you still have the ability to take it back down to zero to communicate with her. Right? So you're pissed off about something or someone else that isn't her, right? And then from time to time you go, I'm sorry, you got to see me like this, babe. And you touch her in the softest, calmest way possible. I'm so sorry you had to see me like this, babe. I'm so fucking pissed off. You go back to, I'm fucking angry. And, I'm sorry, babe. Like, you can go 0 to 60 back to 0 whenever you want. It shows amazing social calibration, right? It shows amazing control over your emotion, but it also shows that extent, like, okay, he can get aggressive when he wants to, right? So that's how you should really be using aggression when it comes to women. Let's see. For example, I was messaging this girl back and forth, then she suddenly stopped messaging back, left me on red, so I just stopped trying to talk to her back. How would you go about finding out what I did wrong to improve? Well, you have the messages there. Did you read them? Clearly you did something in the messages. But okay, put it like this. There's only 2 kinds of actions you can show a woman. Something that is strong or something that is weak. What makes it strong is the disagreeability levels in it, the nonchalance levels in it, the playfulness levels in it. So basically you want to judge your actions on a scale of how much do I care to how little do I care. When you look at the messages you sent her, how many of them said, I care a lot about your reply? How many of them said, I don't care if you reply or not? That'll let you know where you went wrong. If you start seeing messages where you're saying things that make it look like you care about what she says next, that's where the problem lies. Go and fix that. Does that make sense? That's where the problem lies. Especially when it comes to text messaging. You can't text a girl like you care about her. You cannot. Because the moment they feel like they hold some kind of power into the outcome, then almost every time they're going to abuse that power. Because it's just women we're talking about here, right? So, yeah, that's how you figure it out. Let's see. Our love is over 9,000. Know what I'm saying? Hey, I see what you did there. Well done. Well done. I see her as less because of how she came back to me. I don't feel as though she's a prize or something I would want to treasure. Okay, then I don't deal with her. Throw her away. You don't need to deal with her. If that's how you genuinely feel about her, no problem. Why would you even ask me? I mean, okay, I'm a bust your bubble a little bit. You're clearly lying, right? Glow height. You're clearly lying. How do I know you're lying? Because you're asking me the question about her right now. If you genuinely felt that way about her, like, I don't fear she's a prize or anything like that, then you wouldn't even care to ask me that question about her. You wouldn't be thinking about her at all. But you do think about her, and you do care. And there's a part of you that wants to treat her like trash, but you care too much about her to see her as complete trash. Sorry. That's not your fault, though. It's okay. You emotionally invested in this woman. It's fine. It's okay. But don't lie to yourself about where the emotional investment is at. That's 1. 2, regardless, I would still say, because you're so uncertain about your emotions with this woman, give yourself time from her. Like, give yourself some space. She went with that guy. For whatever reason, it didn't work out. Now she's coming back to you. Makes it sound like you might be the backup in the situation. I'm sure you don't want to be the backup, right? So have some respect for yourself. Let that be. And then if she wants to come back, like, truly, then you can put her through some compliance tests to see, she's willing to go through hell to get back with you. In which case, sure, why not? But by that time, you would have figured yourself out. And also, just talk to more girls. A lot of the decisions you'll make with women will be drastically different depending on how many options you have. So if you have just more girls to talk to, then you won't be stressing about this girl like that. My childhood dog was named Rollo Tomasi by my dad. Probably means my dad studied game at some point. Rollo Tomasi was the name of a movie character, actually. Rollo Tomasi, the Red Pill coach, isn't the first Rollo Tomasi. He got that name from a movie. So, your dad might have just been a fan of the movie. What if your shawty look at other men while you're out in public? Then you have a girl that has what we call wandering eyes. That is hypergamy at its finest. There's a part of her brain that's telling her she can do better, and she is still on the lookout. So that's that's a you issue, my guy. You got to go figure out why she feels like she should replace you. What's going on there? Hmm? Because again, you can't solve like what you gonna do. Oh, stop looking at other guys. Like no, you telling her not to look at other guys doesn't take away her need to try to replace you. So you got to figure out why she's trying to replace you. What are you doing? Why does she feel like she hasn't found the checkpoint where she should plant her flag in? Why is she still looking for something else? What about it is making her think of you as just a temporary backup? What's going on there? Figure that out. Figure that out. Seems to be about doing the internal work first and then testing it out in the real world. The results we get reflect the belief systems at work. No real or effective belief system does not produce results. Exactly. Why are y'all so focused on women? Get focused on God. God created women. If you like women, you like God. Now I was asking about like after first dates during that date and how to put sexual content. I feel like you ask me that question all the time, Doc Master Yoda. Did you already forget? Are you still looking for new girls to date? If I find one. I mean, I'm always dating new girls. Dating as a word, just going out with new girls, whatever. Am I looking for a new solid chick to be in my life like that? No, not really. To be honest, not really. I probably was not too long ago, but things are getting a little too busy for me. So yin yang. The true relationship is a co-creation of a greater reality. Absolutely. On the first date, should you tell her you talk to other girls and how to introduce that? You can if you want to. I don't really introduce that to girls unless I feel like they should be in my life for a long period of time. Again, the first date, second date especially, those are the testing phases for me. I'm still trying to figure out who this girl is, if she's worth my time past the second date. Most women you will meet in your life, if you have standards about you, are not worth your time past the second date. Really are not. Really are not. But yeah, if she is, then sure. I'm like, okay, cool. Why not? By the way, I'm the kind of guy, which, by the way, if you haven't figured it out yet, because I'm always saying that, because the way I am and the way I act and the way I talk, it should be very obvious to most women, if they're not completely, like, dumb, that I'm not the kind of guy that deals with just one woman at a time. All right? It's very obvious. Very, very obvious with the way I conduct myself. But yeah, whenever I bring it up, I'm always putting that out there. I'm like, yeah, in case it wasn't obvious, I'm not a one-woman type of guy. And then go from there. Let's see. Are you at the stage where you're looking for something serious, or are you still in the game? I already have several things serious. I'm guessing you're new here, Glow Hype, but I have several girlfriends. Like, girls I've been with for years. My shortest relationship is a year and 7, maybe 8 months now. I gotta go ask her. But yeah, I have several long-term relationships running at the same time. So I've been more serious than all of you combined. And that's not even exaggerating or bragging. Oh, was that? You have a dad and he's married to your mom? That's cute. I have 4 women. Your dad only has 1. So I'm in far more serious situation than your dad. But yeah. I feel like that's something I feel like I'm gonna have to explain in detail, because when I say it, people think I'm joking, or it doesn't compute. It doesn't quite make sense. Like, think about it like this: you've had a girlfriend. If you've had one girlfriend, right, and you know how emotionally intimate and serious and how in love you were with that girlfriend, right? Okay, cool. Now imagine that multiplied by 4. Literally, that's it. And you might think that sounds weird or impossible, but it's actually easier than just having one. A lot of you have to overextend yourselves because you have just the one woman in your life. But once you have multiple in your life, it becomes a lot easier. Because women want competition anxiety anyway. So, a lot of the things that you have to do to maintain one relationship, you don't have to do anymore. Because every single girl you'll have won't want to be the one most clingy girlfriend you got. Does that make sense? A lot of the overcompensation you do, a lot of the things you do to create reassurance in your girl for the relationship, you don't have to do that when you have multiple women. You just don't. You don't. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. Or if you wanted to make more sense, clearly go and get your own multiple women in your life. Let's see. Is compliance testing something you do continuously throughout the relationship, or is it just a part of your initial opening, and do you then have your tactics used in the back end? Teasing def seems like something to keep doing. Yes, all teasing compliances, like if you do everything correctly in the front end, you'll have to keep doing it correctly in the back end as well. That's why you have to keep doing it in the back end. So everything I teach you in the front end, and this is the thing people have to understand, everything that the relationship is and will be will start from the front. So never listen to people that tell you that, like, oh, you do this in the front and then in the back it changes significantly. Like, no. There are some changes, obviously, but for the most part, everything you're doing in the beginning, you're going to keep doing forever with this girl, as long as that relationship exists. That's how it works. So the teasing, the flirting, the wooing, the connection, the intimacy, all that stuff is going to keep happening. And if it stops, the relationship dies. Literally. It is that much of a juggling act to some degree. So don't think about it like, oh, this is what you do in the front end and the back end. That mindset alone is why a lot of y'all keep getting dumped. That's why you get cheated on. It's because you think the work stops at some point, and it doesn't. You have, like, as sexy as you were in the beginning, you better keep being as sexy as you can be as long as you can. Don't get fat on her. Don't do that. She didn't get with a fat dude. She got with a sexy motherfucker, right? Okay, good. Okay, cool. You got to maintain or get even better, get better as you go. And that's just the physical. Now imagine that, but emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, mentally, and all other aspects and areas of your life. You have to keep being an improving, advancing man in all areas. And then anytime you slack off, slide back, and you do that significantly, slacking off and sliding back over a long period of time, now she has the right to leave you. Of course she does. Of course she does. If you're paying for your internet subscription every month, and you're paying hundreds of dollars for your internet, right? And then one day the internet speed gets slower, or the bandwidth for whatever reason goes out. You used to have unlimited data, whatever the hell it's called, but all of a sudden you now have a limit, but you're still paying the same amount. What are you naturally gonna do? You're gonna be like, hey, this is injustice. Either I'm leaving or y'all fix my shit. Right? Well, okay then. Relationships are the exact same way. They're the exact same way. And demand that kind of excellence out of her as she will naturally demand out of you. Because women are already amazing at demanding excellence out of their men. It's just us men, we don't know how to keep up, unfortunately. But yeah, that's how it works. You have to keep going. Let's see. Bro, I've blocked 100 girls because of my friends. Your friends might be your ops, dude. Get rid of, block the friends, get the girls back. My nose is itchy. The woman is like a mirror to the masculine. Yes, she is. I literally say mirror and litmus test. A woman's job in your life is to make you a stronger man. That's why I have multiple. That's why I know I'm a strong motherfucker. Because if you can handle the shit test of multiple girls in your life at the same time, you gotta be psychologically strong. You have to be. You have to be. I can't even begin to explain to you the kind of trials and tribulations these women have put me through. But it's made me a far stronger man. Far, far stronger. And a lot less needy of external validation or, any kind of outside certainty. I can generate that for myself. Because when you're dealing with women, especially you have multiple of them, they will force you to become better at drawing from within. They will. That's why I love women, dude. Love women. Let's see. How do I stop self-touchy? You get someone else to touch you. I feel like, I don't know if I was ever addicted to corn, as they call it. I feel like if you're a teenager and you discover corn, you're going to go crazy, right? Maybe you call that an addiction, sure. But I naturally stopped doing that when I got more girls in my life. So there's clearly a massive correlation between how often you self-touchy, as you put it eloquently, and how many girls you have to touch you for you, right? So maybe that's a bad way to transfer the addiction. I don't know. But end of the day, that innate need to spread your seed is gonna be there. It's a biological thing. So you might as well get someone to help you out with it. That's the way I solved it. Cassia said she didn't want to see me after I didn't come to see her, but she did come, then I left. I don't get it. Why? You might have, maybe you didn't structure that sentence correctly, I don't know, but she came, then you left. Why? What would you generally do for a second date? First went great. For second date is where if I find myself actually liking this girl, obviously the questions are gonna get deeper and more specific to the kind of girl I'm talking to. That's when we really get into like her family history, her work history sometimes depending on the girl, her life experience, places she's been, people she's been with, stuff like that. But in terms of like what we're doing, I always make sure that at some point we have an opportunity to either talk and, you know, sit down and talk, or walk and talk. So we're either gonna go to like maybe a movie theater, skating park, some nice place with a cool activity that the both of us can do. That's also another thing I care a lot about. I might even shoot pool. Like, it's probably shoot pool for me anyway because of the situation I'm in. But I'm always trying to see how me and her work well to solve problems. That's a big thing for me personally. I want to see how she handles both of us going through trials and tribulations together. So I'll put us in situations that'll make that happen, you know. Get creative, I guess, but pool is one good way to do it. Skating, adrenaline parks, bars, whatever. But again, it's not what we're doing that I'm concerned about. It's about what I'm here to do, the mission, which is figure who I'm actually dealing with. Because you gotten done with the first date, all that stuff. By this point, you've probably like gotten naked with her or whatever. At this point, you want to get to know who the hell you're dealing with, you know? Really, on a deep level. Let's see. All good, Jace. I've been taking your advice and trying to talk to a lot more women, but I noticed myself not creating any tension and letting myself enter the friend zone. Yeah, that sounds about right. Just create more sexual tension in your conversations. Tease, flirt. She didn't reply after I next... Write that again for me, Dark Master Yoda. I didn't get that. But I'm trying to improve looking back at your old lessons and watching Mystery's cold approach videos. Oh yeah, sure. Shout out to Mystery. Sounds like you're doing good, Abid. Proud of you. Yeah, he does. Let's see. And we're playing the interview light and self-belief. I like that. Thank you. Please go through those courses more than once. Like, it's very important, guys. If you're going to get my courses, go through them more than once. If you're not going to go through them more than once, do not get them. That's me saying it. Do not get them if you're not going to go through them more than once. The repetition is more important than you realize. Let's see. You once said being a virgin leads to pre-selection. Could you explain the psychology behind that? So, I didn't say being a virgin leads to pre-selection. I said being able to present yourself as a source of validation leads to pre-selection. And you can do that if you play the virgin card right. Right? There's two kinds of ways you can be a virgin. There's the regular way, which most guys are, which is, I'm just a virgin and I'm just a guy that doesn't know anything about girls and I have no experience with women. That guy's not going to get any, no. And I'm going to tell you why. Because here's the second kind of guy, the second kind of virgin. The guy that goes, I've never been with a woman before, but I'm curious and I'm looking for someone special to help me, you know, clear my curiosity. The slight difference in those two types of guys is very simple. One is showing initiative. The other is not. That's it. One is showing initiative. He's showing, okay, I don't know much about women, but I would like to know. And I would like to know if I can find someone specifically that'll help me find out. Which is how you get the girl to feel special, right? But the other guy is just like, I'm just a virgin. I'm just, you know, I don't talk to girls. No. I remember back in high school, I grew up in Nigeria, right? Back in high school, let me give you all some background stories here. By the way, son of a pastor, right? So I always had a reputation to keep even back in high school. There were a lot of things I couldn't do with girls because of the way I was brought up and the reputation I had to keep. Now, obviously, I had my own ways of breaking those rules, but we're not even talking about me right now. We're talking about a classmate of mine that was also a son of a pastor. And he also had like all these ideas of how spirituality and Christianity works and all that stuff. And he was convinced women were of the devil. And he acted like it. So he would literally go to our school parties, and it would get to a point that the music's on, girls would try to come and dance on you. And by the way, never rocked with a girl on a dance floor my entire high school. Again, had a reputation to keep. This guy was getting a few girls to try to rock on him, right? I was always getting offers. And it became like a game for girls to like, who's going to be the girl that Jason is going to let dance? Obviously, none of them won. But this guy was worse because whenever girls tried to come at him, he would literally scream like a 12-year-old, like, ah! Like an alarm system. And after like the first 2 years of doing that, no girls for the rest of our 4 years of high school, because in Nigeria it's 6 years of high school, no girls for the rest of our 4 years of high school ever approached him for a dance again. And you could tell by the last 2 years it was bothering him, because he would see other guys getting asked to dance, and then there would be me, the occasional girl would be like, come here, come dance, and I'd be like, no, stop it, you know I can't do that, you know. But I'm cool about it. I'm like, no, please, no. And then him, he's just there standing waiting for someone to like come get rejected by him. But at this point the girls are hip. They're like, nah, that guy's weird. That guy is weird. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's two kinds of virgins there. One guy was just cool. Like, hey, I mean, I don't understand what's going on, but I'm not mad at this. And then the other guy's like, ah, girls, cooties, like an idiot. I surely shouldn't even be talking shit about him right now. He's a lawyer right now, that guy. Well, he's exactly the kind of lawyer you think he is. He's a simp. But, yeah, expected, you know, expected. But yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like, if you make yourself a challenge for women, that's one thing. Making yourself completely inaccessible is another thing. Don't confuse the two, okay? How do you not run them away? How run what away? Like women? What are we talking about there? Run them away. Run them away. Oh, like when they find out I'm dating other girls? Is that it? Women want you to be the kind of guy that can get other girls. This is one of those things that you have to change your entire mindset about how women function. Women don't care that you have other girls. What they care about is that they're your favorite. Right? That's what women really care about. Especially the badder ones. They want to be your favorite girl. That's it. But if she's not the baddest chick, then she probably doesn't want you to have any other girls. Why? Because she can't compete with them anyway. Keep that in mind. How would you react if a girl thirst over some TikToker, basketball, etc? Define thirst, because a lot of you like to exaggerate a woman acknowledging a man's attractiveness and going like, oh, she's thirsty. It's like, chill out. What do you mean by thirst? Did she just go like, oh, that guy's cute? Because that's one thing. That's different from she has a poster of the guy in her room. Which is it? Let me know. Because one is, frankly, okay. It's like one of the mill, whatever. The other, then you have a girl that cares more about him than you. And we can't have that in our relationships. Clearly, right? Yeah. So, figure out which one first, though. What do you think about faking a persona until you become that persona? If you become that persona, then did you really fake it in the first place? Or did you just improve on it? I don't believe in fake it till you make it. I don't think you can ever fake something until you make it. I believe you can decide to be something and then truly walk and act and feel in it until it begins to manifest. But that's how life works, though. How did Neville Goddard say it, right? The signs never follow. They always precede. If you want evidence that you're the baddest motherfucker on the earth, you need to begin to create that evidence for yourself right now, despite what you may be seeing around you. And then it will happen. And that's the point. It has to happen first. Hold on. TikTok wants to confirm that I'm a real person and I'm here. There we go. Verified. Verification complete. Thanks, TikTok. But yeah, that's how it works. You have to believe right now, and it's not a faking thing. Like, I'm just gonna fake it. No. You have to believe congruently, completely right now that you are that person, that you are, and you have gotten those results, and then it'll manifest in front of you. That's how it works. It's not a fake it. You can't fake your way into that, because you have to have strong. Like, if you fake, the world's job is to test to see if you believe what you claim to believe. So if you're faking it and the world tests you, you will fail. You will fail. Right? That's why a lot of guys don't get girls. It's like, you have to believe first that you're the kind of guy that women all over the planet will chase relentlessly. I remember when I first started, I would literally just close my eyes and imagine two big titty women fighting for their lives over me. That's what I would literally imagine. If you looked at my phone, dry as the Sahara Desert. But I would literally see that in my head. And I would walk around with that confidence. Like, yeah, I'm the kind of guy women will kill each other for. Right? Now, here's what happens on a practical level. When you carry that belief with you, you will naturally talk from that place. You will naturally act from that place. Now, what do you think will happen when women see you trying to be that person? They test it. They test the confidence. So they laugh in your face. They go, ha 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 ha. Oh, you think that's you? They test your confidence. Oh, I know you ain't talking. They test your confidence. There's only two ways you can go from here. If you faked it beforehand, you're going to fail. Because you're going to meet resistance, crash, and it's over. But if you truly believed it, like you really are that guy that is worth being fought over. When women come to your face and go, ha ha ha, no you're not, you're going to be like, what are you talking about? I've had girls badder than you fight over me already. So I don't even know what the hell you talk. You will have the confidence to meet that resistance head on. And then guess what the girls do? Naturally. Back the fuck off. That's how it works. That's it. That's what the entire self-belief course is about. That's why I put it out there for free. By the way, if you don't have it, go register for it right now. That is what self-belief is about. Your belief in yourself will be tested. And that's a big part of the entire process. People either don't know or underestimate. When you come out to the world and say, I'm the baddest guy alive, don't expect the world to agree with you. That's why I shouldn't say this, because TikTok is going to kick me off again. TikTok is going to... I'm going to chill out on that. I was going to go against the alphabet people real quick. Because, like, if you need the world to share in your delusion, then how deluded are you then? Like, I don't need you to call me a certain pronoun for me to feel like that. I'm a G. I can feel that way on my own. You see what I'm saying? If you, like, the world's job is to call you the opposite of what you call yourself. And your job is to stay strong in what you call yourself. Until you see evidence for it. You have to see evidence for it in here before it manifests out here. Alright, that's all I'm going to say on it before I say a little too much. But yeah, I don't believe in faking it till you make it. Believe it till you see it, my guy. What's going on, Don? Is it possible that if she makes you wait, it's because she see potential or she really just not attracted? Because sometimes the girls you take on 3 dates may have smashed another dude in one night and vice versa. So basically, that's why I always keep telling you guys, smash as soon as possible. Like, this is the way I say it to my girls. I make jokes like this with my girls all the time. If I'm the best thing that's ever happened to you, I'm the greatest man you've ever met, and you swear up and down I am the most awesome individual you've ever come across, then I deserve to get it a lot faster than every other guy you've ever been with. So if there's one guy out there that got it in an hour, bitch, you might as well have given it to me in 20 minutes. That's my mindset. I want that to be yours. Does that make sense? Carry yourself like that guy, the most important guy, and then demand of her that she treats you that excellently. Now, clearly, I can't go back in time and change that if that wasn't the case, right? But the point is, if you believe you're the best thing that ever happened to her, demand that treatment. Don't be out here waiting indefinitely. Women, like, I wish I could explain this correctly. Like, when I say attraction is not a choice, I mean that stuff with my life. Women do not have the discipline to say no to men that they are completely enamored by. So if she has the ability to say no to you, you know where you stand, bro. You know where you stand. Does that make sense? She's not supposed to have the discipline to do that. She really isn't. So no, I don't buy that. I don't buy that. How do you make a woman obsessed? Watch my video on YouTube, Imprinting 101. I have an entire series about that. Let's see. How do I become the bad guy women always talk about? What's a healthy number of girls for a roster? All right, you're asking too many questions, Glow Height, that you're not ready for the answers to. I can tell your game level. You're not even gonna be worrying about the actual answers to those questions until like a good 2 months from now, right? Just go start talking to more girls first of all. Second of all, I'll answer this one, the one about being the bad guy. Don't think about it like being the bad guy. Think about it like being the selfish guy. What makes him bad isn't the fact that he's actually bad. It's just the fact that he will do what he wants and prioritize himself and his needs over anything and anyone else. So don't think about it like being bad. Think about it like being selfish, okay? As for the number of girls in the roster, don't worry about a roster, my friend. Go get one first. Let's start with that, okay? Get one girl and then go from there. Let's see. Girlfriend looks at other men in public, just stares, no action. Is there something to be cautious of? I already answered that question. If she's out there staring, then it's your fault. Because why does she feel the need to replace you? Because that's where that's coming from. There's nothing you can tell her. Everyone wants to text me today. There's nothing you can tell her, like, what you want to do. Tell her, like, stop staring at other guys. Like, no. Because you can tell her to stop staring at other guys, but it's not going to take away the need for her to stare at other guys. The need for her to try to replace you. So I would worry more about why does she want to replace you? That's the real question you should be asking. Bro, just give some cold opens. How to start a conversation and not make it forced and fake. That's what my opener's guide is for. I have an entire opener's guide. You guys, I will put up the link after this live is done, just so you guys can get it again. Jesus Christ. It's so annoying to set up that link and set up the timer so it goes off at the time I ask it to, blah, blah. But I'll do it, whatever. You can go get it. You'll spend like $10 on it, whatever. I have 40 openers in there. But my favorite one, the one I always tell you guys all the time, the one I've run into the ground in the last 4 years. You have the most beautiful resting bitch face I've ever seen. That's the line. The genius of that line is simple. The timing and the pacing of it, if you have the correct cadence for it, you're going to put her through a mini emotional roller coaster. You have the most beautiful, pause for effect, resting bitch face I've ever seen. You're complimenting her for something that is disparaging. It's like telling someone you have beautiful, long toenail hairs. Does that make sense? It's a backhanded compliment. And that's why it works. The reason why it works even better is because most beautiful women have resting bitch faces. So they've already been told they have a resting bitch face. All you're doing is confirming that, but doing it in a backhanded way. Boom. You're in the conversation. After saying that, someone was asking me, by the way, what do you do after you say the opener? You go right into asking for compliance. Hey, what's your name, by the way? Don't mind me. What's your name? I say that in the opener's guide. I'm going to say it out here. You have the most beautiful resting bitch face I've ever seen. Wow, look at you. By the way, I'm Jason. What's your name? Boom. Now you're in a conversation with the beautiful woman. Congratulations. Let's see. You know how Glow High said he don't treasure her anymore? Wouldn't it be smart to say to her, you don't treasure her anymore? What would this do for your frame and what kind of response would she give? No, it doesn't matter. I'm going to tell you why. Because you're only doing it to get a reaction out of her anyway, which you should never chase that. Never chase a reaction out of a woman, no matter how bad you want it. So the only reason you would even think to do that, like, oh, let me go tell her I don't treasure her anymore, is because you're expecting some kind of crazy reaction from her. You want her to break down and cry, you want her to beg. You like, stop it. It's pathetic. Instead of that, why don't you just act like you don't treasure her anymore and then just stop replying her phone calls or her text messages? Actions speak louder than words anyway, so go with that. Let's see. Might never get back at you. Don, I'm sure you wrote something before that. I probably didn't see it. I don't know. But let me know. Can you repeat how to increase sexual tension during or after dates? Okay. If you want to increase sexual tension during dates, make sure you're saying things in a subtle and playful way that hint towards the possibility of sex. That's it. That's it. So anytime you make a sexual joke, sexual innuendo, anytime you reject her sexually, playfully of course, you're pointing things towards the possibility of sex, and that in itself will increase sexual tension. So every time you tell her, "Oh, stop looking at me like that." Listen, I get it. I'm sexy. I'm good looking. You probably want to see me naked, but you got to get to know me as a person first. I'm not your piece of meat, okay? It's even better to say something like that when she wasn't even trying to be sexual at all. That makes it even more playful. That makes it even more tantalizing because you're misinterpreting the situation. I will literally do things like wait for her to brush against me even slightly and then accuse her of trying to rape me. Literally. That's what I do. Again, playfully, charismatically, don't just do it in like an accusatory way, but doing stuff like that. That's enough to create more than enough sexual tension, okay? Let's see. Oh yeah, I damn skipped all the. Give me a second, guys. I need to. There we go. How many? Oh no, did I skip something? How many girlfriends do you have? How do I be like? I already answered this question. Okay, so that. But yeah, I already answered this question. I have 4. You be like me by going through the correct steps. Learn how to get one girlfriend, and then you learn how to get a second one after that. The real way to get multiple women is to date a lot of women at the same time, just in general, and then pick out your favorites and then build your team. That's really how it should go. It's not a one by one type of thing. I joke around and say that sometimes, but that's not how it works. It's really just you're dating like a few women. Maybe you got 11 to 20 girls, and then you go, this girl I don't really care much for. This one lives too far away. This one isn't the correct height or weight. This one isn't that cool or interesting. This one is bad as hell. Oh, she's so cool, but she's boring as hell. This one, and then it's just like figuring out which ones you're willing to build up on. Like, for instance, that one I just told you about. Oh, this one is beautiful as hell, but she's boring. That was one of my girls when I started out, and I had to figure out, okay, do I want to make her more interesting? Is that a project I'm willing to undergo for the next few years? Or do I just pick this other girl over her? And I ended up picking her. Because, like, fuck it. I can deal with the beauty. She's beautiful. She listens to me. I can work with that. So I did. And, yeah, she's a lot more interesting now. And then you're going to have other, raw materials here and there. Oh, this girl, she's almost a bad bitch. But if I get her on this and do that, then she'll actually become one. Cool, I can do with that. This one, she's beautiful. She's the right kind of personality. She's a little too opinionated. Am I willing to juxtapose my thinking and my mindset over all that goofy nonsense she learned in college? Alright, we'll see how that goes. Bring her along. That's how it works. You date a bunch of women and then you pick out your favorites and you go from there. That's how it should work. But again, you gotta get good at dating multiple women. That's kind of the point. Damn, multiple long-term relationships in unison. Absolutely. What's going on, Mega? How you doing, man? How do you have several women and do they know of each other? Yes, they do. I'm not hiding anything from anybody. Some of them actually pop up in my life sometimes. Y'all don't know. But yeah, I'm not hiding anything from anybody. That's kind of the point. I have 4, your dad has 1. Indeed, yeah. Someone tried to sun me not too long ago, like, young man, I've been married to the same woman now for 2 decades. And I'm like, you have way less experience than me. What makes you think you can talk to me about women? You've been dealing with the same one girl. Like, you probably don't even know how to have sex with another woman. If I let you get naked with some other girl, she'll call you trash. Because you've been used to being in the same punani. You don't know how to be dexterous or, have variety to your technique. You just know how to please this one girl. Like, it was a whole thing. I dismantled him. Don't worry about it. Let's see. The girl I removed my attention from just sent multiple voice notes on WhatsApp. Not going to open till tomorrow next, though. Sure, do that. Yeah, it doesn't register in people's brains how it feels to have multiple girls. It doesn't. I'm beginning to notice that more and more. Because here's the thing, though. I keep trying to compare myself as a beginner when I started, because I was like 17, 18 when I discovered game, right? I'm 28 now. I'm about to be 29 in a couple of months. And I'm realizing more and more, even as a beginner, I had a better imagination than most people. Because, I mean, as a beginner, I was getting exposed to guys that had multiple girlfriends, and, you know, I had mentors that, like, were dating multiple women at the same time. So for me, it was like, oh, that's okay. That makes sense. How do I do that, though? Like, I didn't have that at the time, obviously. But it was like, I knew it was possible. And it wasn't breaking my mind that that was a thing. But I keep running into guys these days that genuinely don't even think it's... And it's like, what? That's so... It's easier to do than being monogamous. It literally is. It's way easier. A lot of you don't know how well-behaved women can be when they know that they're competing for your time and attention. And it shows. It shows. I'll tell you from experience, though, they can be very well-behaved. Very well-behaved. Let's see. Does that not stress you out dealing with them, and does this impact your productivity? No, it doesn't impact my productivity. That's one thing. Second thing, time management becomes a lot easier when you have multiple women, because you don't have to spend as much time with each one to reassure them of the relationship. Think about it like this. I like to put an extreme... thanks for the rose, by the way. I like to put an extreme on it. Let's say you go back to the Bible days and you go to King Solomon in the Bible. He had 300 wives and 700 concubines. That's 1,000 women in all. Now, imagine you're one of those 1,000 women. Pause, but imagine it for a second. And you know you have 999 other women to compete for the attention of your husband with. And then out of nowhere, on a random day in the summer in desert-ass Israel, you get beckoned upon by one of the king's guards, and he's like, my queen, number 197. King Solomon requests your presence tonight. He would like you to share his bed with him. You would feel so special that the king, your husband essentially, but the king chose you out of the other 999 women to spend the night with him. And you would feel so special in that one night that it would carry you on for literally, if you don't see him for the next 4 years, you will keep talking about that one night. Like, yeah, I shared a bed with him that one night. Yeah. And you would flex on the other bitches with it, and you would talk shit about them and all that stuff. It, like, when you have more girls, you don't have to overcompensate with time anymore. The reason your girlfriend, if you have just one, or your wife especially, if you have just one wife, bothers you for as much time and attention as she does, is because she knows she's the only one. She knows if she's not taking up the time, what else is taking up the time? So she feels the need to overcompensate and drag as much time and attention out of you. But if she knows you got 3 other women, A, she's going to be very careful to ask for your time and attention. And B, which is even more important, your time and attention is now literally 4x more valuable. That's how it works on a practical level. Y'all see, I have the word scientist in my name for a reason. Trust me, that's how it works. When you have one girl, you got to go to work, you got to come back, you got to spend all the rest of the time with her. All of it. And here's a funny thing. If you're in a monogamous relationship and your girl is wanting space from you, that time is going to somewhere else. You've been warned. But if you have 2 girlfriends, now she's going to be a little less selfish because she doesn't want to be the clingy girlfriend. If you have 3 girlfriends, it's just that, but even more stepped down. See how that works? I'm telling you, it's great. It's all. If I really wanted to, I would literally see each of my girls once every month. So that's 1 girl a week. Perfect. Complete maintenance that way. Complete. I do a little more than that because, you know, I'm always doing stuff with my girls. I help some of my girls create sources of income, stuff like that. But if I really wanted to, I don't gotta see nobody more than once a month. I really don't. and solid, coherent relationships going that way. I'm a lovey-dovey guy, so, you know, I'm always seeing my girls. It's whatever. Let's see. Tell me if it feels the same for you. It's more stressful and more comfortable at the same time. So it's more stressful in certain areas. Like the anxiety levels are higher. You have to have a stronger mental and a psychological wall dealing with multiple women, because the shit tests come from different angles. If you're fighting one person, you only got to deal with whatever attacks they got coming at you. Now imagine getting jumped. That's what it's like being with multiple women. And then you also got to learn how to really control your emotions, because if you have a fight with one of your girlfriends, if you're not careful, and this is a mistake I made with my first harem, if you want to call it, you can have one relationship crumble, and then it's a domino effect that destroys the rest of them. Happens. Really does. And a lot of you will make that mistake regardless. But it's very possible, because all those emotions are intertwined. They're all interconnected. If you allow the way you feel about this one to affect the other ones, now whatever results you get with that one, you get with the other ones the same. So you have to get good at not just having these intimate relationships, but completely isolating them from each other. Does that make sense? It's a whole thing. Don't worry. I'm telling you guys stuff that probably won't even, register with you until like later. I know Ryu will get there soon though. Ryu is like about maybe 2.5 years away from that. Let's see. If you have multiple women, do they have to know about each other? I personally think it's easier to do it that way, if they know about each other. Because then you're not sleeping and hiding and, cowering away from everybody. Like, yes, I date multiple women, even if they don't know about each other or know each other personally, at least just knowing that the others exist, more than enough. At least they know. So it doesn't become a surprise later, and then you don't get called a liar and all these other unnecessary things. A lot of the time you shatter a woman's expectations by just not setting it correctly. So I believe in just setting it correctly from the jump. Like, yes, there's other girls, whatever. And then even if, like, because I got girls that are like friends, like best friends now. And then I have other girls, like one in particular, that's like, I don't want to see the other ones. I don't care. Right? Respect their wishes. Cool. But she knows that they exist, though. Does that make sense? Like, I don't care about the other ones. Don't want to meet them. Don't want to see them. Cool. All right, babe. Cool. And the other ones call her a party pooper, but that's how it works. So, yeah, as long as you just have that idea and the discipline to correctly allocate separation between them, you're straight, but let them know about each other. It's very important. Very important. Let's see. I feel like I skipped something. Okay, let me see. There we go. Sorry about that. And are your girlfriends loyal to you? Yes, they are. Think about it. If I can get 4 girls to share me, how loyal do you think that each of them are? Really think let's really think here, guys. Let's really think here, guys. Because here's the logic a lot of men think is the case, right? It's like, oh, if she knows she's sharing you, then she's going to go try to share other guys too. Yeah. First of all, they already know if that is the case, or if they try to bullshit, they're not even going to be with me to begin with. So none of my girls are in the position, or are willing to be in the position, where they mess up what I have with them. Again, think about it. They're willing to share me. So do you really think they're going to mess it up by like, oh, I'm just going to go with, like, no. No. Like, all my girls literally text me whenever they want to go anywhere. I don't even care. Sometimes I got to be like, don't tell me. Give me a chance to miss you. I'll text them. I don't want to know you're going to Trader Joe's. Just give me a chance to miss you. Chill out. Let me wonder a little bit. I will say that. I will literally say that. So the idea like, oh, she must be cheating me, stop it. Second of all, and this is even more important, do you realize what women are as a creature? Do you think women, hold on, I'm about to blow y'all minds. Do you really think women want to cheat? I said this at the beginning of this live. If a woman is cheating on a man, something has gone terribly wrong, because their design is not to do that. Women don't want to cheat. Women don't want to be dualistic in their nature. If they have to be, something has gone terribly wrong. Because a woman's dream, a woman's goal, is to find one solid man that has the perfect balance between protection and provision, that it can get with and just stay with and consolidate on completely. So if a girl is cheating on a guy, something has gone wrong in that entire process. She doesn't want to do that. It's hectic for her. Spreading her time and attention like that. Having to emotionally invest in one guy and then use the other guy as a back. Like, oh, it's too much. It's too much. Have you seen what women do when they have more than one guy in their life? They test each of them relentlessly till they get down to the strongest one. For those of you that have had to, like, you know, fight, maybe not fight, but like compete for a girl with like maybe her ex. Maybe you're the new guy, he's the ex, or maybe you're the ex and there's a new guy in the picture. For those of you that have been in those type of situations, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Is it that she ever loves the both of you at the same time? No! She has one guy she actually likes, and then the other guy she has to supplement with because unfortunately, she's in this terrible, less than ideal situation. If one of those guys, you or him, got your shit together the way you were supposed to, in her eyes, and she wouldn't feel the need to get a backup, it wouldn't be necessary, right? So, like, let's really think about, let's change our mindset around that. Women don't want to cheat. Someone asked me that, too, in a video, like, oh, what if, because I was talking about how you get away with cheating if you get caught cheating, for those of you in monogamous relationships. And then dude was like, what if she cheats back? You think a woman wants to cheat back? You think that feels good for her? Like, yeah, I'm gonna get back at you by opening myself up to someone else. I'm gonna get back at you. Let me just pop it open for somebody. Oh God, y'all don't get women, dog. That's not fun for them. That's not fun. That's not fun. Like, really understand women, guys. That's not fun for them. I promise you. So, no. Don't worry about any of that. Don't worry. Let's see. Where do I find you post TikTok, man? Honestly, probably YouTube and Instagram, mostly. Hey, Nep. Welcome back. Welcome back. Where have you been? You're late, my friend. You're late. You're late. You did with 4 women. Now imagine King Solomon. Imagine the mental strength. That's why he was the wisest man on the planet. I still believe that. If she has tons of ons, do you take her seriously, or it depends on the kind of guy she had these ons? What is ons? Like ONS, what is that? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Bro doing zina is harem. You Christians don't understand. Why are you telling me something is harem when you know I'm a Christian? I don't care about whatever the hell is harem. I don't care. Oh, not harem. Haram. Sorry. My Muslim friends are going to kill me for saying harem. Haram. If it's haram, I don't give a damn. I'm Christian. But what is zina, though? What does that mean? For those of y'all that are Muslim, what is Z-I-N-A? What is zina? What's your opinion on using substances, specifically that green or that mush? I don't really care. I'm not that type of person. Are we talking about, you're looking at a guy that takes maybe 3 sips, maybe 4 sips total of alcohol a year. On the average year, right? But, yeah, I'm not big on doing or consuming anything that alters my brain chemistry. I've always been very protective about that. One night is one night. Oh, you see, that's why I didn't even know what that meant. One night stand. Okay. Hold on, let me see. If she has tons of one night stands, do you take her seriously, or it depends on the kind of guy she had these one night stands with? Well, it really depends, to be honest. But I think most of you don't have the patience to figure out those things. So, does it really matter what the answer is? Because here's my thing about one night stands, especially when it comes to women doing it. If a woman is doing a one night stand, again, these are behaviors that women conduct, that they can conduct and they can do, but it lets you know something has gone terribly wrong with her up until that point. So I need to know, why is she doing that? From what place of pain is she doing that? And why does she feel the need to use men's validation as a way to alleviate herself of that pain? I need to know the story behind that. That'll tell me, like, what kind of woman I'm dealing with to begin with. Because that's the only reasons women have one night stands. It is not normal for a woman on most occasions to just have that with a man and then be completely inconsequential about not continuing things with him past that point. So if she's gotten to that point mentally where she's okay with doing that, something's wrong. Something is very wrong. I want to figure out what's going on there. Like, it's different, but it's different if she just has a lot of dudes she's dated. but she's messed with them all for at least a bit of a period of time. Like, I know girls, for instance, that have over 100 bodies, right? But every single one of those guys they mess with for more than like 2-3 months on average. Does that make sense? And it's like, oh, okay. It was the need for companionship she was looking for in each of these guys. Now, she was terrible at finding it, obviously, that many guys. Oof. But I can understand that. It's like, oh, okay. You wanted a boyfriend, but you suck at finding one. Cool. But then one night stands, slightly different. Slightly different. No, actually, not slightly, like a lot different. So yeah, it really depends. It really depends. What would you say about your BF not wanting you guys to talk to other guys? Okay, so I'm guessing you're a chick. So your boyfriend doesn't want you to talk to other guys. That sounds about right. But hold on. When you say, hold on. Like physically not talking to other guys? What kind of boyfriend you got? Because you're going to talk to other men at some point. You get stuff to buy at the store. Maybe you got, if you go to school, classmates. If you go to work, co-workers that are male. It sounds like bro is just unrealistic about his expectations about life for you. And I'm going to forgive him if he's under the age of 20. And so are you. But if not, that you might be dealing with like a guy with some serious mental issues. Get out of there. By the way, is making money prior to getting into a relationship important or not? You tend to have more motivation to make more money when you're in a relationship. At least me personally. That's something I had to talk about with someone recently. I feel like as a man, you have more motivation to get your ish together when you're dating a woman, and especially when that woman has high standards and expectations of life herself. Like, I would have never thought or known what a matte pink G-Wagon was until my girl showed me a picture of it and was like, that would be really cool. And then like, okay, cool. I probably should be able to make that kind of money so I can get her that at some point. You know what I'm saying? Because I would have never cared up until that point. Does that make sense? So, if anything, a lot of you will straighten up when you know you have to be responsible for a woman. That's how I see it anyway. Because let's be honest, as men, we need the bare minimum. Tiny little cozy place, heat, or warmth and cold in the warmer months, bed, mattress maybe even on the floor, one blanket, 2 pillowcases, 3 spoons, 2 forks, and a butter knife. Like, we are very bare minimum creatures as men. We're survivalists. I feel like you only have that motivation to want more in greater capacity anyway when you have a girl in your life. For real. For real. That's how I think about it anyway. Let's see. Hello. What do you do if she doesn't trust you because you dealt with her friend? You don't worry about the trust she doesn't have for you. I wouldn't worry. Was it Ryu? Ryu, were you the one that asked me that question the other time? Where you were like, she doesn't trust me. And what did I say? It doesn't matter when a woman doesn't trust you. In fact, it's almost a good thing in some cases. A woman's trust is built from usually years, well, sometimes months, but usually years of predictable behavior. Trust for women is not built on good merit. It's built on routine. So she only trusts you when she can predict you. And what do I tell you guys constantly about attraction? Attraction is born from unpredictability. Hold on. Give me a second, guys. Sun is in my eyes right now. There we go. Aha! So, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. Attraction is built on unpredictability. So the less she can predict your behavior, the more attracted she is to you, because that's where the tension is created. If you earned her trust, that means you've earned, in her eyes, your predictability, which means you killed attraction. So when she says she doesn't trust you, be like, hey, it is what it is. I don't trust you. You used to deal with my friend. Now I'm dealing with you. Don't worry about it. That's it. Don't overcomplicate it. The moment you begin to try to do things to earn her trust, you try to overcompensate and gain trust and try to reassure her of the relationship, you're now behind. So don't do that. Don't do that. Can you look maxing, please. I don't know what that means. Oh, the looks. Oh, looks maxing. The whole black pill thing. Uh, Jace, how you doing, man? How you doing, Elros? You gotta scroll down. Long parts. We made plans. I couldn't go. She got mad. This after. She bailed on me 2 times, and then I figured the issue. After 2 weeks, we got together again. She said she didn't want to see me after I didn't come, and she was there. Next time I texted her, and she didn't reply. But posted a story of her skiing. Then I left the country for 1 month, and she never reached out. Once I came back, I texted her. She said she's talking to someone. Okay, I'm bullying through this because I know English isn't your first language, Yoda. After multiple times, I made plans, and she bailed. She came and we did it, and I saw her text her new man, and she would not say anything when I asked to hang out again. So the new guy won out. The new guy beat you. The new guy beat you. You kind of gave me the full structure of it, which is cool, but you didn't really give me anything with regards to like what was said when you two were together. Which, if I had to guess, you probably made a lot of mistakes that made her feel like the other guy was a better option. You lost. It's okay. It's okay. You lost. You lost. Standing there waiting to get rejected. Yeah, you lost, Yoda. Don't worry about that. Go talk to a new girl. The crazy thing is that once I literally pushed through all the resistance and approach, I get so much more confident that I want to keep approaching, and my energy does all the work for me. Absolutely. Why are some girls so in love with a celebrity when he never showed them any validation? Well, it's not about who shows her validation that makes her want to chase his validation. It's about how much worth she thinks that validation holds. That's really what it comes. That's why they love those celebrities, because getting chosen by Chris Brown would feel amazing, and that's the hope they linger on to. That's it. That's it. What does it mean if she's ignoring my messages, but in person she talks to me? Should I take my time to reply her? Yes, you should. Clearly, you're doing something wrong if you're giving her that much time and attention, and then in person she's eating you up. It just sounds like you're her attention whore. Why are you doing that? Why are you being a whore with your attention? I just stopped thinking and turned to that guy. That's what it feels like. Yeah. Just peacock like crazy. Why do they chase them? Chase what? Hold on, let me get back to making sense of all this. There we go. A weird thing I've noticed is that I actually have too much confidence for a 7. I have to change my entire personality just to give her a compliment. Yes. It'll feel like a problem at first, but it really isn't a problem. If anything, it just means you are now cursed to forever be with a 10. Oh no. Like, that's how it works. You can no longer do all that damn self-editing to make yourself more conducive to a lesser girl. Just get with the better ones. Get with the better ones. That's how it works. I don't understand. I get that the man reached the max frame, but why obsess? What do they gain? Oh, they gain, like, it's hope, dude. I don't think people understand how far women will go for future validation, which is what hope essentially is. Right? That the gain for them is that the day that Chris Brown or Trey Songz or whoever finally validates them will come. And they keep praying for the day it happens. And they keep going to the shows and showing up at the meetups and doing whatever to make that day happen. And hey, hopefully it happens for them. I don't know. Why would you say learning how to talk to 7s actually harms your ability to talk to 10s? Because you'll begin to do that self-editing you do with 7s with 10s, and it'll mess up your chances with the 10s. Because you're right. Whenever you talk to a 7 as a guy that's super confident, you can't show that level of arrogance. They're going to feel like you're unattainable. So you have to do a lot of adjusting yourself to make yourself look a lot more humble. Right? I call it being the hot guy that doesn't know he's hot. That's how you got to talk to a 7. That's what 7's like. Oh, he's hot and doesn't know it? Yes, I can get this guy. It's attainability. But if you talk like that to a 10, you're going to look lame, because 10s want a hot guy that knows he's hot. Does that make sense? That's why you talk like that to 10s. That's why I get 10. That's why Andrew Tate gets 10s. It's guys that talk about themselves like they're God. That's who 10s worship. You do that to a 7, you just showed her you're out of her league. So the more you talk to 7s, you will learn bad habits that you think will work on 10s and just won't. It won't. It'll mess up your calibration. Just don't talk to 7s, talk to 10s. Why would you, would you say you considered as a, hold on. Would you say what you considered as a 10 years ago is now what you see as a 6 or a 5? Yes. Yes. Because that's what's happening to me, low-key. The more women I talk to, the more what I see as a 10 changes. Absolutely. Yes. My 10 from like 7 years ago, I can't even be seen in public with her anymore. To be completely honest. Not to brag or anything, but I've done very well for myself. So yeah. Self-preservation? What are we talking about there? Bro, I have chicks. Bro thinks I'm not in the game. I have 3 in my roster right now. Chill. Okay, so you're Nigerian from the way you spelled. Second of all, I don't believe you, Glow Height. I don't believe you. I'm sorry. I don't believe you. Should I tell girls that I don't take girls not replying to me on dates, or I would call out? In general, just don't call that out. That's no. You cannot. Haven't I said this before in a different life? You cannot punish a girl for not replying your texts or your calls. You might think of that as bad behavior, but that's not behavior you can punish. Because one, she's her own human being. She can decide not to reply you. And two, just because you need a reply has nothing to do with her. That's a you problem. Go and fix your need for her validation. She doesn't need to reply you. Just like you don't need to reply her. There's no obligation there for anybody. Like, chill out. It's just texting. Right? You have to be the one to make sure that the texts that you send are cool and awesome and interesting enough for the conversation to keep going. That's your only responsibility. Whatever happens from that point, may it happen. You know, may your knife chip and shatter. But, yeah. You can't tell a woman, I need a text reply from you, or else you sound pussy. You sound pathetic. That's gross. Like, imagine a woman, and let's imagine this woman, by the way, is just the most disgusting looking woman you've ever seen. And she's like, I need you to reply me every time I text you. You'd be like, ew, no. All of a sudden, you'd have respect for yourself and be like, no, I don't want that. Right? Because that's unattractive behavior. Like, it's like that. It's the same neediness of when a homeless man comes to you like, give me $1. It's like, no, get out of my face. I don't know about y'all. I'm not Mother Teresa, right? So I'm like, ugh, gross. No. So you can't punish her for not texting you. That's not how this works. How do you work out while doing a 7-day fast? You do light workouts. I would say once a day, and then get just whatever your regular workout routine would be, massively step it down especially for the last 3 days, because that's when your body is still like eating up on itself to give itself energy, essentially. Those are the hardest days. Since you've mastered the RBF opening, once you use it, then ask, is it permanent or depends on mood? What do you say then after they answer whatever they say? As in, once you've used the RBF opener, then that's when you go into a regular conversation. Like, start asking her questions like, what is she doing? What is she up to? Who is she with? Whatever. And then find pockets to tease in there. Right? It's all in the interview light, by the way. I know you're probably in the interview light, right? So when you go through it, I talk about that over there. Use the opener. Go into a compliance test. Whenever she gives you compliance, reward her for it. And then go back into teasing again. Again, it's just moving the conversation towards more tension and more compliance, right? I'll give you an example. You have the most beautiful face I've ever seen before. By the way, I'm Jason. What's your name? I'm Melinda. Oh, Melinda, nice to meet you. To be honest, though, I didn't expect you to have a name that old. What's going on there? Oh, you have a grandma's name. Oh, my God. I was just going to say that about your name, too, Jason. Oh, you're going to make fun of me for having a white name, huh? That's crazy. I'm going to keep my eye on you. You're kind of racist. Okay, by the way, don't mind me. What are you doing here? What are you doing in these parts of town? Oh, I'm here with my friend. We're actually gonna go get some boba tea. Oh, okay. The boba shop not too far away from here. I've been there before. It's not that bad. I mean, I wouldn't peg you for a boba type of girl, but I thought you'd be like a Starbucks kind of girl. Why would you say that? I don't know. The yoga pants are throwing me off. Tease, compliance, tease, compliance, tease, compliance, tease, compliance. That way you get tension and you move the conversation forward. After that point, somewhere in between that, the next compliance is gonna naturally be, let me get your number, by the way, because I can't keep talking to you all day. I got stuff to do. Put your number in my phone. And then from there, you take the phone number, put it in your pocket, go right back into compliance and teasing. Right back into it like the conversation never stopped. Boba tea, blah, blah, blah. Tease, compliance, tease, compliance. Do that for another good 2-3 minutes. Then go, okay, now I really gotta go. But you've been lovely to talk to. I'll text you later. Expect my text or my call. Bye. End of conversation. If you want like a more structured thing, interview light. You know where it's at. Let's see. I sort of find you attractive. Yeah, that's not a bad one. It's not a bad one. Depending on the context, it can either be very good or very, very bad. But I think in most contexts, you'd be fine. Let's see. How do I get a man back? How did you lose the man? What did you do, Hannah? Because you might have never had the man, Hannah. I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of women ask, how do you get a man back when they never really had the man to begin with? And that, I would say, even though I'm not a chick myself, that's some scary shit, isn't it? Because you might be putting, your investment and your time in a man that you never had a chance with to begin with. So be careful with that, Hannah. But let me know, though. How did you lose him? If you believe you lost him. The four know each other? Absolutely. Let's see. Well, like I said, one is kind of isolated anyway. But, yeah. If I use the opener on that girl, I feel like she would see it as validation more than a backhanded compliment. Not saying that I would go for her. I'm better than that. Well, the one that you say, wait, which opener? The resting bitch face opener? Then you can switch it up and make it a little more neggy. But there's no need for that. Just use that one exactly. Don't overcomplicate it. Just use that one exactly. It's fine. Let's see. Man's building a team like a 6 squad of Pokemon consisting of all your favorites. Literally. I think of them like my Pokemon party. And again, just like a Pokemon party, you have different Pokemon for different things. You have one for the TM dig, you have one for HM dig, you have one for the HM surf, one for the HM break or cut, right? One for fly. That's how it works. Like you have different girls for different purposes. So yeah, that's how it works. National both. The correct answer is both. You cannot choose one without choosing the other. Proportionality is key. You take them out all the same time. Sometimes. I do like once or twice a year, but sometimes. How do I hit that ish the right way? Y'all are trying to get me kicked off of TikTok. Let's see. You did all at once, not 4 girls at one table though. That's funny. Nah. My biggest challenge is getting my girl to get along, so I hide it. How you make them get along? So, again, they will be the ones to give you what they think their terms and conditions are for how they want to feel special in the relationship. Because you can't dictate to a girl how she wants to feel special to you. So you're going to have to give him a little leeway as far as that goes. You're going to have to give them like a little bit of room when it comes to that. But for the most part, whether they want to get along with each other or not is still up to them, right? Whenever they're, for instance, from time to time, like a little fight will break out, like, oh, argument this, argument that. I never get involved. They will figure it out. Why do I do that? Because, one, I can't get involved anyway. It kind of ruins the mystique of what I'm doing here with me being the leader of this entire squad. Secondly, and this is even more important, them getting along is up to them. I cannot force 2 girls to be like, you're gonna get along now. Like, no. I can put them in the same room and see what happens. And if they get along, cool. And if they don't, whatever. I mean, they still see each other, whether they get along or not, as competition for my time and attention. So it's only fair I keep that in mind. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. I don't even know if I should be talking about stuff like this with you guys. Like, there's a very good chance nobody here can apply anything I'm talking about. And let me see. But yeah, don't stop hiding it though. Don't hide anything. Just literally tell them. What you're really scared of at the end of the day is that you're scared to lose them, because you think once they find out that you have other girls, they're all gonna be gone. Instead of doing that and being a pussy about it, just come out and say it. And then if you lose some, you lose some. It's better you lose the majority of them by saying that out loud than still have all of them under the pretense of a lie. You know? Well, I watched enough anime to believe in the possibilities of harems. Absolutely. You don't make them get along. You just ask if they are good with it. Literally, yeah. Ryu gets it. How do I find mentors, not just for women, but in life and ish? You go on YouTube and you do your best to find them. If not, let them go. That's literally all. Indeed. Let's see. Just I noticed myself talking stuff in like a sponge constantly, even information. Oh, taking stuff in. My bad. I didn't read that correctly. Even information that doesn't affect me. Is it because it's becoming a huge problem affecting my productivity? I'm asking you how to deal with it. Information overload because it doesn't seem to affect you. How do I filter out useless information? Well, you don't filter out useless information. You focus on the one that's the most useful. You can't get rid of the bad by focusing on the bad. You just got to focus on the good. Focus on what you believe is the most useful for you in this moment in time. And then naturally everything else will go to the background. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. Please keep going. Indeed. I'd honestly advise you to not give advanced level game advice to low level questions. For sure. You're right. You should do 4 versus 1s. I'm very protective of my girls, including their identities. There's a reason for that. Your answer doesn't align to their XP level. It doesn't, man. I might be wasting my time talking about like advanced level stuff like that. You bounce back your reputation, change your personality a bit. How you go about it with people who know you. Like, I don't get what you mean. You bounce back your reputation, change your personality a bit. How you go about it with people who know you. You already changed your reputation, right? So I would guess they already see you in a different light. You're fine. You are fine. How do you show your woman that you can protect them? Well, the most important thing about protection is that you have to have the capacity for danger. The quickest way to let a woman know that you can protect her is that you can rise to the same level or capacity for the danger that you're protecting her from. Because that's how protection works anyway. All right. How do you protect her from, for instance, an assailant with a gun? You have yours too. That's how you do it. So rising to the same capacity of danger is one thing, and the willingness to rise to that capacity for danger. The second thing, and this is even more important in my opinion, is show her that you have the ability to have social calibration. If she knows that you, no matter how crazy you get, you will never harm her or direct those aggressive emotions towards her, she automatically feels 10 times safer with you. Because she knows you will never do anything to go out of your way to harm her. Does that make sense? Don't forget, whenever you approach a woman for the first time, whenever you're trying to get to know a woman for the first time, you are the danger. You are what she's scared of. So, treat yourself accordingly and do your best to let her know that you have a leash on your neck. That way she knows you can yank yourself back from harming her or doing anything bad to her or making her feel uncomfortable or uneasy, etc. That's how you protect women. Yay. What do you think of guys who don't mind sharing a girl? They all mind sharing a girl. No guy wants to share a girl. They don't have a choice because they can't do any better. Sorry, Jay, I was at the gym and I'm gonna do jiu-jitsu in like 15 minutes. Oh yeah, go do your jiu-jitsu, man. Wagwan, Olisa. Olasile, Larry, dude. How you doing, man? Zina is fornication. Oh, okay. I almost forgot about that question. Alright, cash on. That's cool, I guess. What did he say? Like, Christians can't do it, or is that what he said? No one even really knows the definition of fornication, though. That's the thing. But I don't even want to talk about that right now. Hold on. What does it take to get and keep a girl? To be a man that she can trust with her protection, first of all, and then with leadership. That's it. To get a girl, you have to think about yourself as the person that's capable of leading that girl. Now, the more desirable she is, the more options she will have, which means the more pick of the litter she has from better leaders than you. That's why they're harder competition. But ultimately, you're just thinking about how well can I lead that girl? How well can I make her feel safe around me? How well can I get her to follow my lead? That's what that's what it takes to get and keep a girl. You might as well ask him to answer everything about game in one sentence. Maybe. Bro, I'm in this long talking stage. Anytime it's getting intimate, she ducks. Then you're not in the talking stage. You're in a parasitic relationship where she saps all your time and attention away from you, and you're too stupid to realize. Sorry, my friend. Someone has to tell you. You're not in a relationship at all. Not like she's probably screwing some other guy while she's doing all that to you, by the way. But yeah, you are not in a relationship, my friend. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. You're not the guy you think you are. You're not in the talking stage. That's why I don't believe in most talking stages. Like, all they are pockets or cocoons that women use to wrap you up so that they can get free time and attention from you. No consequence involved. Nothing in exchange. Right? So, yeah. End that immediately. Bro, literally nothing will motivate you more to make money than a beautiful woman. My desire to take care of her when she acts right supersedes anything else. I don't care. Yes, it does. For real. Now imagine that multiplied by 4. Hey, Fish Army's late again. Everybody boo Fish Army. Boo. 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 And I had trouble getting big. You're just young. You still have metabolism. That's fine. Just eat like 8 times a day. You'll be fine. Jace, how do you convince a pure Muslim woman to be with a guy with bodies because they want a guy with 0 bodies? That's a lie. Every woman wants a guy with experience. That is a lie. You're really asking me how to deal with a woman that's religious. And I always say the best way to deal with a woman that's religious is not to deal with them. Because more than likely you don't have the kind of game it takes to essentially beat her iman. That's who you're competing with. Her pastor, her imam, her priest, her whoever, right? You probably don't have the experience necessary to juxtapose your ideas into her own head. In which case, just don't worry about it. Just go get a girl that isn't. And also, regardless of whether you're trying to compete for her or not, understand on a basic level, even when the woman herself does not know, women do not want men that have no experience. There's no woman on this planet, if they're being honest with themselves and they actually know themselves well enough, there's no woman on this planet that'll be like, oh yeah, I just want a guy that's never been with any woman before and is untested completely. Like, no. Like, there's a reason pre-selection works on women so well. There's a reason women become so much more attracted to you when they find out you have a girlfriend. Like, oh, he has a girlfriend now? Now I want him. Why do you think that works like that? It's a biology thing. That's not even no Bible or Quran can change that. That's a biology. That's how God made it from the beginning of time. Right? Don't let the religious texts confuse you. Women want men with experience. That's what they look for in everything. All right? A girl that I dated said that she's afraid to leave her ex, even if she's interested in me and have feelings for me. I went no contact at the moment, but she still kisses me. Or she still kissed you, okay? So yeah, she doesn't like you like that. Always, I have a video I'm actually putting out about this later. But never go by a woman's words, go by her actions. It's very important, guys. It's very important. I don't care what she told you or, oh, she kissed you. Who is she with right now? Who is she with? You or the ex? You or the ex? Okay, that's what I thought. Never go by what they say. Go by what they do. Look at her feet. Where are her feet pointing? If everything you told me is true, they're pointing towards the boyfriend. So her feet are, in fact, they're next to his feet. Literally. So I don't care how many kisses you gave her. Now, if you're telling me you're banging her on a regular, that's different. But even then, I'd still be like, okay, why doesn't she leave him for you then? Because if you're getting sexually intimate, it shouldn't be hard for you to get that kind of compliance out of her. Right? So in a way, it's almost better you're not sexually intimate yet, because at least then you can know where you stand for real, it's very clear. Because if you were sexually intimate, I'll be like, oh, damn, she really doesn't fucking like you. Because she's just using you for sex, and she's still with the boyfriend. So yeah, this is almost better. But yeah, don't worry about her. Go talk to other girls. I posted a video of me boxing and guns and got a Hellcat right after probably regretting her decision. What things should I think about that I said in order to get me better? How can I get better? Like you hold on. I don't get it. Hold on. Oh, I see. So you got a bunch of cool stuff and cool toys because you wanted to make a girl regret her decision to not be with you anymore. If that's why you're doing it, you're already failing, my friend. You've already failed. Don't improve yourself to get back at her. That's the wrong. I'd rather you improve yourself to make yourself worthy to yourself than to get back at her. That's not the right reason to do it. Because that means every decision you've made, you had her in mind. You've done nothing but psychologically and emotionally invest more in her while you were doing it. That's not good for you. It's not good for you. All right. Return to Hellcat. You probably don't even like boxing. You just decided to go do it because you thought it would make you look cooler. Go drop the boxing gloves or give them away. Right. You probably don't even like boxing. Right. You probably don't like the Hellcat. You probably don't like the kind of guns you got. It's okay. You made a lot of mistakes in the way of trying to prove something to someone, but you've gone a little too far. Calm yourself, right? I would say go through a solid 7-day isolation process. 7 days, just to detox yourself from the world and reset your mind. And then, and only then, can you begin to do all the right things and make all the correct decisions. But until then, don't do all that, okay? I left a religious girl and have gotten a new one. We're all in the same class. I don't talk to the religious girl anymore. Told her I love her, but we can't talk anymore. Now I'm the bad guy in class. So, that's a good thing. What you complaining for? If anything, it just makes you look like a heartbreaker. That just makes you look pre-selected. You're fine. Told the girl I have a girlfriend, and she became like hella more interested in me in my relationship. That makes sense. That's called pre-selection. What are some real-life examples of habits you pick up interacting and getting sevens? Oh, ew. Self-deprecation is probably the biggest one. Because in order for a seven to feel comfortable around you, you have to make yourself more attainable to her. AKA, make yourself less. What is the quickest way to make yourself less to people? Self-deprecation. Right? You don't self-deprecate in front of tens. When you self-deprecate in front of a 10, it'll make you look like you have really low self-esteem, and that's why you're trying to mask it with humor. Now, you do that in front of a 7, great! Attractive, in fact, because she wants a guy that's attainable to her. But to a 10, ew. So you might accidentally pick up the habit from self-deprecating in front of the 7 and do it in front of the 10. Now you're screwed. Don't do that. I'm a short guy. How can I maximize my ability to get and retain women? You overcompensate with massive confidence. Massive confidence. That's what you got to do. Like, being short isn't the issue. The issue is that men think being short is a disadvantage. And they act like it. I know guys in wheelchairs that pull women. So I know you don't have an excuse. It's just you don't realize yet that you don't have an excuse. Right? So, overcompensate, massive confidence. Learn how to get past all the height jokes and the height shit tests, because they will come. You are a small person, right? If you are, then expect women to poke at your height, poke fun at you, and all you got to do is reverse that and make them feel too tall. That's really the play, is that you go, you know what? Usually I have a height cutoff mark, but you're right at that cutoff mark. You're fine. You're not too tall for me. Say that to women. You're not too tall for me. Flip it on them. Get them in their head. Stop being in your head for once, right? So yeah, overcompensate with confidence. Go from there. My girlfriend is a 10. The only problem I have is that she dresses provocatively. And I told her to change that, and she said no. How do I change that without breaking up? If you're too scared to break up, you can't change it, my friend. Like, what you should have asked me if you had, which, by the way, I already know this girl isn't a 10, but I'm sure she's a 10 to you, which is fine. But if you really want to get her to change that, then you got to be willing to break up to prove your point. You got to be like, listen, if I can't keep being with a girl that dresses provocatively like this, I'd rather not be with you. I'm out of here. If you don't have the balls to do that, and by the way, that's how I know she's not a 10. If there's no way you can get a 10 while having the fear of getting broken up with. Any guy that gets 10s isn't scared to break up with any girl. That's why we get 10s. Because we don't give a fuck. That's why we get 10s. Does that make sense? We get 10s because the 10s know that to us, they're replaceable. So the moment you said, how do I change that without breaking up? You ain't got no 10. You ain't got no 10. You got a 7.5 at best. So that's the first thing. Second thing, and this is even more important, honestly. She's a 10. Her being hot as fuck comes with the territory, my friend. That is when you finally get a 10, right? When you finally get a 10, they're hot. That's kind of the point of them being 10s. So you can't complain about them looking like that. Now, if you don't like how provocative she dresses, that's one thing. And then you can definitely address that and be like, listen, I don't know what kind of weird low self-esteem type shit is this, but you gotta stop. The only person that you should be wanting to see you anywhere near half naked is me. I don't know why you feel the need to get other people to give you kudos on how naked you are. That's ridiculous. You're with me now. You have a higher standard to keep, right? Talk like that. But again, only if you actually deal with a 10. That kind of conversation to a 7 is completely useless. Why? Because they're 7s. Their self-esteem is too low to even understand why that conversation would want to motivate them to be better and not dress too provocatively in public anymore. Because she's a 7. She needs all the attention she can get because she's not used to it. Right? So don't say that to your current girlfriend. It's not going to go well. But yeah, that's when you actually deal with 10s, okay? I'm an introvert by nature. How do I make myself more interesting to a girl? Introvert doesn't mean silent, right? You can still talk to women, right? You might not do it as loudly, but you can still have quiet confidence and charisma. You don't really have an excuse here, my friend. What you're really trying to say is you're scared to talk to women. In which case, the best way to deal with that is exposure therapy. Put yourself in a situation where you're talking to as many women as possible so that you get over that anxiety and fear you feel from fucking up in front of them. In fact, I would go as far as say, fuck up in front of women as often as possible so that you can get used to that feeling of fucking up in front of women. Plain and simple. Exposure therapy. Let's see. Essentially the main ingredient that separates protectors from providers? Yes. You post in field? Never. Legal issues. We got the RBF opening discourse masterclass. Let's go. Indeed. I asked him if I was a warm body. What did he say? Did he say yes? If he said yes, then you never had him to begin with. Well, then again, I mean, here's the thing. If he said yes, then you definitely were a warm body. Because if you were a warm body, then he would be that honest with you. But if he said no, then you got to figure out this guy's capacity to have other options than women. Because the only men that are honest with women are men with options. Does that make sense? And obviously, you know, as a woman, that those kind of guys are harder to pin down. So, you know, catch 22 and all that. I got the interview soon. Take your time. I've made it a goal for myself to do 100 approaches before I do to boost my ability to use it. What I learned from there, even further, good idea, right? It's not a bad idea, but I don't want you learning any bad habits before you actually get the interview light. Because there's a good chance you'll go through those 100 approaches and then get the interview light and realize, holy snap, I've been doing this entirely wrong. If I had just gotten the course first. But again, do what you want to do. Don't listen to me. No matter what bad things you did, or if you were doing it in those 100 approaches, you'll eventually get the interview light and learn from your mistakes, and hopefully you don't ingrain them too badly that they become bad habits, right? So yeah, I just want you guys training. That's all I really care about. I'm never going to discourage that. Would you advise breaking a woman emotionally, then picking her up and putting her together, then repeating the process till she's dependent? Well, it's not like that's not possible or that's not a good thing, but I wouldn't say, like, if you're doing that for dependence, you're kind of missing the point. I would do something like that, but for not so she can be dependent on me. Like, that's a byproduct of good leadership. When you're a man and you're a solid leader, she's going to depend on you anyway. Like, that's never the goal for me. If I'm going to do that entire process, I'm doing that usually as a way to get her to a certain level of compliance, which is a slightly more important goal for me. This is especially with like very beautiful, very narcissistic women. They feel like they're the most independent people on the planet. They're some of the most dependent people on the planet, ironically enough. But they've been taught, especially by men, that the ground they walk on is holy ground. So I will put her through that entire emotional roller coaster to get her to understand on a conscious level, there are men out there, aka me, that will not tolerate your bullshit. Right? That will not bend for you and will wait for you to do the bending. And then from there, it's like I don't want to say it because people are gonna be like, oh, Jason, what are you saying? But I always tell you guys, dog training and pimping are very similar. It's the same thing. It's operant conditioning. Good behavior, reward. Bad behavior, punish. And some girls are so beautiful, but at the same time so narcissistic and so stubborn that you gotta put them through that training process a little longer than the others, right? Some dogs, you put the food in front of them, they try to take it, you go, ah, and they'll sit back, relax, and then turn their gaze from the food to you and understand, okay, I don't eat until the owner tells me to. Some dogs are smart like that. Other dogs are a little more stubborn. They try to bark at you, they try to scratch at your hand when you're covering the food, they try to walk around you, run around you, they try to pee on you. They do all these things to try to get what they want without addressing you first. Put it in women terms. She wants something out of you. Let's say, for instance, commitment, right? For me, that's always usually the case. They want this type of time and more time and attention. And they do all these things to try to get it. And they do everything else but just do what I tell them to. Because again, I'm a benevolent guy and I'm a good leader. So I'll tell them, okay, you want more of my time and attention? Do this. But they're stubborn. And they're narcissistic. And they're used to men that just give them whatever they want whenever they ask for it. So they'll go out of their way to try to get out of me what they've asked of me without doing what I tell them to do. So then they'll try and go and make me jealous with another guy. Or try to ignore me for a certain amount of time. Or try to post weird, provocative Instagram stories. And all these other different things that women do to try to increase your sense of urgency. But I'm me. So how well do you think that works? And then at some point, she has to learn. She has to learn the only way you can get anything out of me on a time and attention level as a man is to just shut the fuck up and do what I say. So yeah, I'll put them through that roller coaster from time to time. That's it. Let's see. Let's see. Oh my god. I'm sorry, guys. Gotta scroll all the way. There we go. There we go. You ever done a group discussion with all your girls? That's funny. I send you, speaking on the Zuko Qatar. What do you think about what you sent me? What? I don't know. Think about Naruto. We actually talked about that entire triangle in the beginning of the live. We were talking about the Sakura, Sasuke, and Naruto love triangle, and it's literally just like the Zuko, Katara, and Aang one, except in the Naruto one, the guy who should have gotten the girl got the girl. That's really it. Naruto is more realistic. After years of chasing Sasuke, Sakura finally got him. That's how it should work. Is the girl relentlessly chasing your love for years? Okay, maybe not for years, but you get the point. You know, Katara and Aang ending up together makes no damn sense. It's not how it would happen in real life. In real life, Girls like Katara don't choose men like Aang. I'm sorry, guys. I hate to break your hearts, but it's true. Can you repeat how to call out when she leaves you undelivered? I told you don't. You don't. I literally said that. You don't call her out. You do not call her out. What's going on with your Wi-Fi, Yoda? I feel like you always ask me the same question over and over and over again. What's going on there? Y'all remember when I answered that question though, right? I'm not tripping. I literally said you cannot call a woman out for not replying you or not answering you on time. That just does nothing but make you look like a weakling. It makes you look pathetic as a man. Because one, you're dealing with an entirely different human being, which is a woman, right? And two, it makes you look like you need validation out of her. Stop doing or saying things that make you look like you need her to. I need a reply. Why don't you reply me? That's what you look like to these women. Why don't you reply me? You look like a homeless man asking for $1. Change. Spare some change. Pathetic. Don't do that. Don't do that. Have you become more English dominated? How much you speak English and the slangs, all that good stuff. I mean, I've been living in America for a long time, dude. Like almost coming up on a decade at this point. All I gotta say is keep spreading the knowledge. Love it here. Absolutely. Love that you're here too. Jason, I'm currently ignoring a girl for not complying. I'm a flirt with her friend in front of her. Tips. I mean, you can, but you don't need any tips past that. Just give her the cold shoulder, give her friend a little more energy, and then keep it pushing. Right? You should be talking to multiple girls anyway, so don't focus on just this one. Right? Have an abundance of girls in your life, guys. Very important. Most important shit test for a long-term relationship. There is no important one that's general for everybody. It depends on the guy. Because again, don't forget, the woman is a litmus test to the man. So she's going to make a test that is specially tailored for you. It depends on who you are. If the woman notices over time that you are susceptible to anxiety, then she's probably going to create a shit test that pokes at your weakest points with regards to like how you feel the most anxiety, right? If she realizes that your weakness is like a lack of leadership or procrastination, then she's going to create tests that are in line to that. It depends on you as the guy. It depends on you. Depends on you. Right? Like if you read the Bible, every great man was tested by a woman. No two of them were tested the same way. Right? Solomon was tested with other gods. That was a compliance test. Samson was tested with his weakness, his hair. Right? That was a discretion test. That means he couldn't keep his mouth shut about what his weakness was. He just had to tell his woman his weakness, like a goofball. But that's a different test than the compliance test when Solomon was told by his Ethiopian queen, hey, come worship these other gods with me. Don't worship the God of Israel anymore. And he fell for that. They both failed that. Who else failed the shit test? Oh, Adam. Adam is the first man in the Bible to fail a shit test. God told him, don't eat of that tree. And Eve said, I already ate of it. You should eat it with me. And Adam was like, okay. Compliance test. But it's a different compliance test than the one that Solomon got. Right? So it depends on the man and what their weakness is. That's it. Some couldn't keep obeying God. Others couldn't keep their mouth shut about their biggest secret. And then we have men like Isaac. That's a very good one, actually. Isaac was old and blind and got tricked by his own wife and his second-born child for the blessing of the firstborn. So it was supposed to go to Esau. It ended up going to Jacob. So his test was different. His test was trust. He trusted the wrong woman. And that woman helped his own son trick him. So the test is going to be different for every guy. That's what I'm trying to put together for you. It's going to be different depending on who you are. You're going to have to really dig deep and figure out who you are as a man, what your own weaknesses are, and then prepare for whatever test that might be. Like for me personally, it was anxiety for the longest time. That's why I talk about it a lot. It was tension. That's why I'm an expert on tension now. Because for me, a little bit of tension and I crack. So I fixed that. Let's see. Yep, he was generalizing. What are your opinions on no contact? There's very few situations where it actually works. Very, very, very few situations where it actually works. A lot of people like to use no contact and all forms of other dread game because no contact is really just a form of dread game. But the problem with dread game is that you can only use it when she still has a bit of attraction left for you. The problem with most men is that they're trying to employ dread game tactics when she's already past the point of minimum attractionness threshold. That means, like, think about it like this. If I were to grab your phone and run away in one direction, you're going to chase after me, right? Why? Because that phone holds value to you. But let's say I grabbed your phone, but it turns out that phone wasn't your phone. It was like a cookie made to look like a replica of your phone. How hard would you chase me? You wouldn't care. It's a goddamn cookie. Right? You see my point? A lot of you are trying to use no contact and dread game in general to try to get a woman to have a resurgence in her compliance towards you or her urgency around you. And it's, in most cases, way too late. So it won't work. I'm sorry. It's done. It's over. She's not gonna care. Out of sight, out of mind. She doesn't care. So, this is what I think about no contact in most cases. Most cases. There's some cases where it does work if you use it correctly. It's all about the timing. Anime recommendations with lots of game. I am currently watching the 3rd season of Classroom of the Elite. Solid game in there. BJJ tournament on Sunday, man. Oh, congrats. Let me know how you do. Yeah, that's right. Boo Fish Army. But, hey, if he's going on a BJJ tournament, that's cool, too. You should be training right now, actually. Keep me in your ear and train. Any coming back from emotionally cheating? When you say emotionally cheating, like she went and had like an emotional affair with someone else that isn't you, I would honestly be more worried about did she mess with that person physically? Because for women, the psychological and the emotional are not concrete until the physical has happened. So if all she did was just talk to some guy and tell him she loves him, I wouldn't worry too much about that. In fact, depending on who you are and the kind of situation you got, I would almost encourage that shit. Because, especially if, like, for older men, right? You don't have the time and attention to give her all that time and attention anymore. Right? So, you might as well just let her go talk to some other guy and get her rocks off emotionally that way. Might as well. But, yeah, it's not a big deal. If there wasn't the physical, then the emotional and psychological were not concrete anyway. Doesn't matter. If a single beautiful woman is what makes you go get money, you're not that guy. Well, I got 4. Does that count? Look at these idiots trying to act like they all on my level. Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. Do you like Juice WRLD? Yes, I do actually. R.I.P. Juice WRLD. I'm in sales. I work with guys who are phenomenal with sales and women. Yet a few of them still pay for high-end escorts. What do you think of that? And they're not that good. They're not that good. I've never paid for any kind of sexual favors in my life. Because I don't need to. I get bitches. And very good ones, too. It's that simple. Like, would you pay for something you get for free? So if they're paying for it, how good are they really? Common sense, man. Guide on how to pull my teacher is crazy. That is hilarious. Oh. Ooh. Guys, give me a second. Hold on. I'll be right back. I will be right back. Give me one hot second. I'll be right back, okay? Send it. I'll see all that later. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, cool. Woo! Back, guys. What's going on, baby? All right, I'm back. I have to take care of business there a little bit. Take care of business. All right. Let's see. I gotta scroll all the way back up. Oh man, this is making me realize I gotta speed run through all of this now. Holy smokes, guys! Give me a second. First time. That's not where I stopped. That is right. That's where I stopped. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Awesome. Thanks for bearing with me, guys, but I am back. Let's get back on this game shit. All right. How do you get a 7 to believe truly she's a 10? The best... I think I know what you mean when you say that, by the way. You're trying to turn a 7 into a 10. Only way to do that is to put her through the 10 program. You got to put her on the right diet, get her on the right exercise regimen, all that stuff. You got to make her believe that she can get there. That's really what the gap between a 7 and a 10 is. It's like most of them don't believe they can get there. But if you want to, you can definitely get her to believe like she can get there. And be supportive and reassure her and give her a lot of like positive reinforcement, like reward good behavior. When she goes to the gym and she gets back, be like, oh, baby, you look so good. Hit it a little bit from the back, make her feel a little better because, you know, your dick is validation. So use it that way. Use it to encourage her as she goes. But yeah, that's as far as that goes. I don't want to go too long on each one. Any coming back from emotional cheating? Oh yeah, that's what I was answering before I left, right? So emotional cheating. I didn't answer that question, right? Did I? Did I, guys? Yes, I did. Attracted to beyond their looks. I liked what I saw, which is why I talked to them. But most of these girls aren't even likable. Once you get to know them more, is that common? Yes, very, very common. Most women do not have a personality, especially past a certain point. They have no idea what to say, or like they've run out of other people's opinions at that point. So like, oh, what do I do? At that point, you can let them know. Like literally, I like to say this: whenever you find a point of leverage over a girl, always use it. The problem a lot of men don't seem to have, or seem to have with women, is that they keep forgetting that she should feel indebted to you. She should feel grateful to you. So you should always make her realize through real concrete reasons that, okay, this is a reason why I should have left you, but I didn't. If she doesn't have a personality, let her know, like, listen, to be honest, I've dated girls with better personalities than you, but I do like you because you do have one aspect to your personality that, you know, isn't too easy to find in other girls. That's fine. But other than that, I'm gonna be honest with you, you bore me sometimes. Go be interesting for me. Can you do that, baby? Thanks. Mwah. So yeah, definitely very common, very normal. Stand on that business. I'll see. Hey bro, which Martians do you recommend, and which one do you do? I don't know what a Martian is. Oh, martial arts? Kickboxing, jiu-jitsu. You need something for stand-up, you need something for the ground. That's how I say it. If you want to do Muay Thai, Greco wrestling, if you want to do boxing, sambo, or you can do kickboxing, jiu-jitsu like I do. So, whatever. With breaking up, how do you know she's redeemed herself? Simple. When you give her compliance tests and she passes them. I always tell people, whenever you want to have a girl come back into your life, always make sure that there's a massive barrier to entry, and it achieves two things. One, it's the amount of work she puts in to get back to being with you, which increases your value significantly in her eyes. And two, even more importantly, the next time she considers trying to leave you again, she's going to think about how much work she had to put in to come back. And that's going to discourage her naturally. Right? So make sure you, like, and by the way, this is how I do it. I literally give them a list of things that I want them to do for me. It can be anything as random from like doing laundry for me, paying bills for me, whatever, all the way up to things that require massive sacrifices. Give me portions of their savings, or maybe even all of it, depending on the situation. Give me this, give me that TV, give me that laptop that's mine now, whatever. I got so many laptops now, it's crazy. But The point is, make sure you get stuff out of them to show their allegiance, to make them make sacrifices on your behalf. Even if you don't want to take it for yourself. I'm greedy, so I'll take it for myself. But you can get her. I've had students tell who would have been at the time their ex-girlfriend to give a certain amount of money to charity and send them the receipt. And then obviously they're dating these girls now. But you see what I'm saying? Just make sure there's a compliance before she comes back and you're fine. That's it. How old are you, bro? I'm 28. I'm gonna be 29 in a few months, May the 7th. Boxing, wrestling, Muay Thai. Yeah, exactly. Jace, this is my other account. Abid. Oh, what's going on? Oh, you're Asami now. Ooh, interesting. Did bro switch up shades mid-live, or am I just tripping? Oh, that's the sun. Sun is going down now, so definitely switched up a few shades. By the way, Jace, I'm serious. I want to know how to pull my teacher. What class are you in? Let's start with that. In all honesty, man, I'd love to gain another few years of experience and then do infield approaches with you one day. Feel like we would have great energy and compatibility, bro. I think so too. I really do. How can I attract other girls to join me and my girlfriend tomorrow at a place full of baddies? My girlfriend doesn't mind sharing thanks to you. Hey, no problem, man. No problem. I like to see people actually use my advice. I appreciate that. So the real trick though is to treat that place as practice. You want to make her essentially your fishing rod for these girls. You want to train her to get those girls for you. Because here's the thing. You can pick the girl you like all you want. If your girl doesn't like her, you're going to mess up the whole thing. So, again, especially for your situation, because you already have one girlfriend and you're just now opening up the relationship, right? Okay, so cool. Let her pick the girl. Let her pick the girl, go introduce herself, and then bring her to you, and then you can all kind of like be friends, and then from there see what happens. But you have to train her to go get the girls for you. And don't even tell her what girls you like. Like, tell her what girls you think I like. Go find one that you think I like for me. That way you put the onus on her to A, get the girl, and B, make sure that there's a relationship between her and the girl before you are introduced into it. Does that make sense? Very important. Very important. What are your thoughts on the subject toxic masculinity? Toxic masculinity is not real because masculinity can never be toxic. If it is toxic, then it's not masculinity. It's something else. It's some kind of weird pseudo-masculinity. That's what I think about it. Jace, my bro's wife is like a 4 out of 5 and hella stingy with her money, even though she has more than him. Is bro cooked? Absolutely. Why is she more concerned with her money than him? When a woman really likes you, she puts you above her own survival. So, the fact that she's putting her money as her god over him, tells me everything I need to know. But I can't blame her, though. I blame her bro. Your bro's cooked because he jumped in the hot oil. It's his fault. Sasuke is really him. He even smashed the girl that was obsessed with him, and Sakura raised her. The one girl with the glasses? Yeah, Sasuke's that guy. Only Sims call out. For real. Thanks. That's for like the text messaging stuff we're talking about. You get it, Swole Gamer. Although Boruto is horrible, but that's besides the point. I've never seen Boruto. I don't know if I'll ever see it. I don't know. What if not responding in a relationship, though? Not responding? What do you mean by not responding? Like she's just not talking to you? Or you're sticking it in and you're getting no reaction? Like, what do you mean by not responding? I need to know. You learning any new languages? Yes, I am. Sí. Sí, señor. Sí. Sí, señor. I gotta roll the Mars. Sí, señor. Or if you're a girl, señora. How do you deal with shy women and whether they're just being nice or choosing? Shy women and whether they're being nice or choosing. No matter shy or not, you're still gonna have to lead the interaction. That's one. Two, nice or choosing, assume they're all choosing anyway, and then go from there. Right? Because you don't want to like wait for signs to know whether it's okay for you to jump or not. Like just start macking on girls, dude. Start talking to girls. Just start spinning your game. Whether she was choosing or not, if you spin your game well enough, she'll choose anyway. So you'll be fine. Don't wait for signals for anything, like, except you're driving, in which case, yeah, like, obey the road signals. But when it comes to women, don't wait for anyone to give you permission. That's a fool's errand. And, yeah, that's it. Basically, when you're calling her out, you're asking for report from her, learn from self-belief. Yes, rapport, by the way, yes. You're asking for rapport, and you're seeking rapport, and don't do that. Thoughts on Taekwondo? Amazing for learning kicks. Let's see. He means Taekwondo, the YouTuber or streamer, if you don't get it. Oh, I don't know who Taekwondo is. I don't know who that is. The dojo in here. How do I get back from the point of no return? What are we talking about when you say the point of no return? And if you're talking about the point of no return that I was talking about, then why would you want to get back from that? That's your point of no return. That's the point where once you get to that point, she's yours. Why would you want to get back from that? I don't think you understood the video. Go watch it again. How to frame a relationship where her parents' influence. Feels guilty if she lets down her parents. Her parents are good people, but I want to lead her, influence them, not her. Or influence her, not them. Oh, okay, I see. So that makes sense. Okay. First of all, the parents should never be a factor, though. Like, so she's clearly close to her parents, and to the point where she's choosing them and their opinion over yours. I would say it comes down to, like, a very weak influencing on your part. Like, your dick should have more value than her parents naturally, without any real game anyway. So if that's not happening correctly, something is wrong. Like, you're going bad terribly, but I'll give you the basics. If you're at the point where you're already sleeping with the girl, and by the way, maybe I'm assuming that you're already at that point. If you're not at that point and that's the problem, go sleep with her. If you're already at the point where you're sleeping with her, and for whatever reason, you know, she's still obeying her parents over you, then that means you're doing something wrong with your game. There's something wrong with your leadership. She doesn't trust your leadership as a man. Right? So I would advise you to start taking some certain types of risks with her. What kind of risk you got to take with her? I'm not quite sure because I don't know your relationship. But if I had to guess, it's probably a agreeability, disagreeability thing. You're probably saying and doing things that's making her feel like you don't have the balls to disagree with her. Start doing that as soon as possible, okay? But I genuinely still think it's probably just you haven't gotten naked with her yet. Go do that. It wasn't fully physical. Oh, so she pause though, pause. But if that's what happened, yeah, you might have something to worry about there. Because then that means she's willing to please him in that way. Dirty Dre. If it's any bit of physical, like, did she do something with him, or was it just like kissing? If it's kissing, that's one thing. But if it was like, back of the closet, pause, then that means she's. It's like this analogy I give all the time, right? Let me paint a picture in your head for a second. Let me ask you this hypothetical question. You walk into your house. You have a wife. You walk into your house after long, hard days of work. You bust open a door after following a trail of drawers that don't belong to you. And you see your wife in bed with a man. But, pause, it's Fish Army, pause. But, you see her and that man in one of three positions. Which would you rather pick? Position A, she's getting hit from the back. Right? Position 2, he's eating her out. Position 3, she's blowing him. Which one is good for you? Which one would you rather see? It depends on who you are as a man. And especially for those of you that have like a weak mental, a weak psychology, like you can't handle anxiety. For you probably think the worst one is getting hit from the back, right? But let me tell you what you should really be scared of. If you see her giving him head. Why is that the worst one? Because it means she's willing to pleasure him without getting any pleasure in return. She likes that motherfucker. Getting hit from the back is not bad. Don't get it, just bad. But you can at least rationalize, she's just trying to get off. Same thing with him eating her out. But giving him brain, she likes dude. She likes him. So when you say not fully physical, what are we talking about? I found myself struggling after a first date. I tend to not get anything on a first date. I talk about her travels, food. If she goes out, her friends, her high school stories. After the day, I don't know what to do, and set up another one, and goes down from there. I do see them in the middle of the day. Okay, that makes sense. So first of all, switching from middle of the day to closer to the end of the day. Second of all, like closer to evening. Second of all, it just sounds like you're not injecting enough sexual tension. You have to flirt with these girls. How often do you joke with them? How often do you misinterpret what they say? How often do you point or lead towards the possibility of sex? Okay, when you're talking about all these different things, high school friends, stories, blah, blah, do you ever talk about sex at all? Like, even in a jokey way. Do you ever bring up the topic of sex? No? Okay, then that makes sense why it goes downhill later. Right? So, yeah. Remember, possibility of sex. That's the difference between a sexual, tense conversation and just one that leads to the friend zone. It's just us now, guys. Who's staying? That's funny. That's when I left, right? You said if you're older, let her emotionally cheat, but if she is lying or hiding, it's not a red flag. If she's lying and hiding, yeah, that's definitely a red flag. Because then that means she doesn't want you to find out. But then, like, why though? That's bad. You said if you're already answered that. Do you want someone you can trust in your corner? I mean, yes, you do. Don't ask me. You want someone you can trust in your corner, right? You want someone you can trust in your corner. Everybody does. That's common sense. So yeah, like if she's hiding and cheating, something's definitely wrong there. Obviously, it's different if you're the one that sanctioned it. That's really what I was trying to say. Like if you're the one that sanctions it, like yeah, go do whatever emotionally with some other guy, whatever. I don't have the time for that. Cool, but if she's sneaking and hiding, come on. Obviously, something's wrong there. What test can I put a woman through to reveal her true character? You wouldn't even know what her true character is if you saw it. I'm just messing with you, man. I'm half messing with you. There's an element of truth to that. But let me put it like this. You want to put her through extremes. Extreme situations that draw out extreme emotions. That'll let you know how she is in her best days and in her worst days. That's really what it comes down to. If you want to know what those tests are specifically, I have an entire series about it called Stress Testing Your Relationship 101. It's on my YouTube. Go check it out. The last few streams, I was always training while hearing your streams. Oh, that's good. Very good. My girl is solid, but her parents' view on her influence or stress her. How do I fix that? When they get mad at her, she feels guilty and stressed. If it's a long-term relationship, I want to make sure I'm leading and influencing her, not them. It's the same as before, right? But okay, I think I'm getting a better idea of what you mean when you say that. Her parents' view on her or influence on her stress her. I see. So basically, she's trying to meet up with their expectations. Is that it? Well, you got to teach her how to not give a fuck then. And essentially, you would be a bad influence according to her parents. But that's what you got to do. You gotta show her how not to care. Like you gotta learn. This will require you to have some gift of gab. To be honest, you gotta learn how to talk to her in a way that makes her feel like she can believe in you and not her parents. You gotta talk to her in a way like, hey, listen, your life belongs to you long after they're dead, and I'm sure you don't want to think about that, but one day they will be gone, and long after they're gone, you have to keep making decisions for yourself. You cannot decide now to live life according to their map and their plans and their goals, and then screw yourself over years later from now when they're gone. That's how you're going to point. And then on top of that, in the back end, you're going to be like, and by the way, I intend to be with you for the long run. Don't forget that part. I intend to be here for you as long as you don't do anything to piss me off or chase me away. I don't see a reason I would ever want to not have you in my life. You've been such a great girl to me. You've done this, you've done that, you've done this, you've done that. Insert whatever she's done in there. You've been an amazing girl. I love spending time with you. I love you so much. I see a future with you so far. So, let's build one together that isn't influenced by your parents. Boom. That's how you put it. That's how you put it. I swear I like the McDonald's idea. Next girl that comes back has to get me a lot of nuggets. For sure, man. Listen, for the $20 KFC fill-up bucket, I've asked the girl for that. Some of the best chicken I ever had. I mean, I've had several fill-up buckets since then, but still. It tastes better when it's coming from a girl that's trying to apologize to you, you know? How do you manage finances with her long term. You keep her in the dark and make her trust you. That's actually one of the better ways to do it. Honestly, like literally keep her in the dark, make her trust you. I don't really subscribe too much to like that whole keep her in the dark thing. Don't get it twisted. It's better than most other ideas out there. But the idea isn't really to keep her in the dark. The idea is to lead everything. That's really what matters the most. Whether she knows what's going on or not is irrelevant. It's lead, like she defers to your authority. That's what matters the most. Okay? Alright. Damn. Sum that up again. Think you delayed hella. What are we talking about? Oh! Emotional. I already answered that. That's fine. I already answered that. Computer science class. Now give me a guide. It's funny. Here's something I've learned in my recent experience. Please share your perspective. A Nate that wears hella makeup and requires constant exposure to online male attention and validation has the confidence levels of a 6. Her looks don't matter for a split second based on what I've seen so many times over and over again. I cannot be convinced otherwise. They just get mad as fuck at anything a real baddie would love to hear. But it might be a thing with younger new age women specifically. I blame TikTok, man. Nah, it's not TikTok. I do think that younger women in general are definitely a lot more sensitive. But I wouldn't worry too much about that regardless. It's still like a hotness, unattractiveness thing. A girl that's used to being attractive is gonna enjoy hearing things that she's never heard before. A girl that's not used to being attractive is gonna take offense to everything. Keep it simple, you know. That's really like it is in 8 inches. Yes, literally. I mean, pause, but yes. Jeffy mentioned it was better for the boyfriend to bring other women into the relationship. Who's Jeffy? Who are we talking? Is it Jeffrey? Is it Ross Jeffries? Jeffrey Ross, I mean. But yeah, if he has proof that works, that's cool. But what I've seen in my personal experience, anyway, and honestly, I think that there's a few people on my side that will agree with me on this. Is like, if you get your girl in on it, it's just better, for the long run, right? I'm talking. Okay, hold on. Let me give it proper context. If you're dealing with a girl that you were with initially as monogamous, and then you opened up the relationship, yes, get your girl to participate actively. But if it's a girl that you've always had and she knew from the jump that you're the kind of guy that doesn't have just one woman in your life, then yeah, go bring him by yourself. I was talking specifically to that situation where it's like she was your girl and your only girl for a long time, and then you're opening up the relationship. Sure, you want her to participate in the opening up. You know what I mean? That's what I mean. Hey, what's going on, Kay? How you doing, man? What's going on? Can you elaborate why the girlfriend should bring women into the relationship? Again, I just explained it. If the relationship is just now getting opened, make sure she participates in how open the relationship gets. That's it. She will do what I want her to do. Bet, thanks. I guess I helped you. Cool. Yo, bro, in your race manifesto vid, you said to pack on muscle for South Asian guys, and I've done that. Just how would I then use it to my advantage to get her to feel safety, as I feel people of color women view what? View you as more intimidating, but you don't know. But yeah, I mean that's the point. The point is you're not more intimidating. You're not more dangerous looking. That's perfect. From there, you overcompensate with solid social calibration. You show her that you have the ability to self-edit when you're making social errors in the moment. That's why I keep repeating that entire sequence to you guys of walk into her space, say, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to get that close. Take a physical step back off. Why do you do that? Because you want to show her in real time that you have the ability to catch yourself and correct yourself when you're making a social error. Right? So it's that, but on different levels. Think of all the different ways you can call out when you're being a little creepy, or the possibility of you being creepy, and then call that out so that they know that you have the ability to self-edit like that. Like, again, I'm a big black guy, right? From time to time, I'll be like, walking down the street or whatever. Maybe it's a little darker out in the evening. I walk into a girl I like. I start chatting her up, and the first thing I'm always gonna say is, listen, I get it. I'm a big black dude with dreadlocks. I promise you though, I'm not here to rob you. I just find you somewhat attractive. What's your name? Why do I say stuff like that? Because again, I'm calling out the obvious. It's an awkward situation. I'm a giant dude that represents danger in America. It's not my fault. It's not hers. It just is what it is. Prejudices exist. So I'm gonna call out the prejudice, and then I'm gonna tell her that I'm intelligent and socially aware enough to know what the prejudice is and act accordingly. I apologize. I don't mean to creep you out. I promise you, I'm not trying to pull the blicky out on you. I just want to talk to you for a second. You look cute. Go from there. Go from there. Let's see. No, please answer how to pull my teacher. Not like I'm ever gonna use it, but just want to know. I asked you how old you are, what grade you're in. Those are very important things. Like pulling your teacher in the 8th grade is much different than pulling your teacher in the 11th grade. One is way easier than the other. One is way more time consuming than the other. So, like, figure it out. Like, let me know. Would you have a problem if one of your girls was bi and mess with women while with you? No, not really, because I don't see women as a legitimate threat anyway. I really don't. Now, if she did it behind my back, that's a different thing, right? That would probably piss me off, but still not as much as like, an actual threat. What's something you learned in the game recently? No, I am not gonna say that out loud. No, that's something I have to test some more before I confirm and put that out there. As more intimidating, but I already answered that one. Jeff Allen. Who the fuck is Jeff Allen? I don't want to do every girl I have the chance to. How do I determine who's worth doing it with? Also, do you believe in soul ties, like in terms of energy people have in their bodies based on their history? Wouldn't be surprised if certain women brought some Valsprints along with their punane. Well, I do believe in all those things. I just also believe in if your mental and your psychological and your spiritual is strong, then you're going to be the one doing the influencing. Right? Everyone always thinks of themselves as the victims whenever we talk about stuff like soul ties and energy bonding and all that kind of stuff. But no one ever thinks of themselves as the victor, as the predator. Like, why people always assume that they're the prey. Oh, women come with evil spirits in their pussy. Well, I come with good spirits with my dick. How about that? And it cancels out whatever evil spirits she has in her vagina. That's how I think about it, right? But I digress. The point is, all that stuff does have some merit to it, but I wouldn't worry too much about it. I really wouldn't. Unless you plan to take this girl seriously for a long period of time, there's really no point in thinking about any of that long term, Let's see. Dark game, it's been a while. Probably. Hold on, guys. Give me a second. God damn it. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to untangle this thing so I can plug it in the car. It's a whole mess back here. I'm trying to get some light going. Hold on. Oh, this is annoying. Oh, I'll do that later. Let's see. Fresh to the live, so don't know if you went over this already. What do you do when your girl's leveled up and now she's being less compliant? How do you keep frame? Ooh, your girl leveled up? Well, why do you think she leveled up? And why are you assuming psychologically that her leveling up means she's now better than you? Because that's really what it comes down to. Her leveling up, if anything, should make you look better. That's how I would see it. Right? I've had girls literally become way hotter than I met them, right? Sometimes overnight, sometimes over a long period of time. But I never once have thought of that as oh, now it's hard to keep frame. It's no. If anything, I think about their leveling up as an increase in my status because now I got a better bitch. So we got to deal with your mind first. Don't worry about her. Why do you think her leveling up is now competition for you? Why don't you think it makes you look better? What's going on there? That's the first thing. Second thing, did you level up too? Because, yeah, holding frame is one thing. But if, for instance, you and your girl are both fatties and then she gets hot and skinny and you're still a fatty, you better have a massive mental to overcompensate for the fact that your body hasn't caught up to hers yet. And is that possible? Absolutely. One of my favorite people on the planet when it comes to game is Patrice O'Neal. He famously was always a fat dude, and his girls were always bad as fuck, especially his main chick, right? What's her name? Vaughn? Was it Vaughn? I can't remember her name. But yeah, Patrice always he had a famous line where he would say, "Listen, your hotness is the selling point of this relationship, not mine. I'm a fat dude. Let's leave it that way." Now, why would he say stuff like that? Because he had a strong mental. He knew how to get his girl to believe that he was still that man, that dude, even though he was significantly less attractive than her. And that's all that really matters. As long as you're placed above her psychologically in her own mind, you're fine. That's why I had to ask you, why do you think it's not harder to hold frame and be her leader because she leveled up? Why are you seeing her leveling up as a bad thing for you? That's my question. What's going on there? All right? So figure that out. What to do if she gets crazy angry when you disqualify her? You stop talking to ugly girls. That's what you're doing. Stop it. Interesting take on the good energy. It's the best take there is. Everyone likes to be the victim when it comes to things of the spirit and psychological stuff. No one ever thinks of themselves as the juxtaposer of their own energy. And that's how I feel I am. Like, I don't fuck the Satanist bitch into church. I've done that. So I know it's possible. Do you understand what I'm saying? Got her to remove the 666 tattoo and everything. Very painful laser surgery, by the way. Not surgery, laser removal tattoo thing. She was the one I got her to remove the whole, 666 thing from her. She had a tramp stamp of the 666. Can you believe that? And I got her to remove it. That shit is more painful than getting the tattoo. And it's multiple procedures because they got to break down the ink in it. You know what I mean? So yeah, like, everyone always thinks of themselves as the victim. When do you become the victor? Your dick carries good energy. Assume that. Bro, I saw a TikTok of a guy just looking at his wife fill up like 6'8" good looking guy. It's brutal. Ooh, that sounds bad. So he was just watching, and what was the context? I need context for that. He just walked up to him and just started filling him up. I have questions. Still though, how do you determine a girl being worth doing? Well, you gotta have a bare minimum threshold, and you gotta set that for yourself. I don't know, like, it depends on you. I personally would say there's many factors that go into it though. Like there's logistical factors, there's psychological factors, there's the way I put it is she more work than she needs to be, and are there gonna be any repercussions afterwards? If the answer to those questions is no, I go with it. If it's yes, no, But that comes down to me and what I think is worth it. I'm very lazy, by the way, when it comes to getting girls. Like, I'm the guy. I can't even begin to explain to you. Again, I've done it so many times. It's not exciting to me anymore. So if I actually go through with a girl, I must be really excited by her on a level past just the sex part. Because for me, sex is never the goal anyway, right? So, again, really depends on you. And I also remember back in the day where, to me, driving an hour and a half for the prospect of new punani was a good idea. And the funny thing is, back then I didn't even have a car. You know what I mean? So, I really think it depends on you. How would your game be different if you're an attractive guy? Well, it just means that you probably bypass some of the different kind of resistance in the front end, but in the back end you have bigger trouble because now you have to actually be an attractive guy. Let me explain what I mean by that. When you're not a conventionally attractive guy, women don't expect you to act attractively. So when you do, it's a pleasant surprise for them, right? Well, the inverse is real for attractive guys. When you're an attractive guy, you better be and behave conventionally attractive. If you don't have that congruence about you, if the way you behave in the back end doesn't match the way you look, you're screwed. You're very, very screwed. All right? That's why Will Smith went through the massive ridicule and humiliation he went through for as many years as he went through it. It's like, you look that good and you're going through something that an ugly dude would go through? Ew. Ew. So it's harder for you in the back end. It might be easier on the front end, but prepare to do a lot of work in the back end. You've been warned. I don't think she's better than me. I mean, she's being less compliant. Okay. It's still your fault, though. No matter how you slice it, my friend. It's still your fault. Because why? Okay, let's assume that she's leveled up and she now believes that because she's leveled up, she now has more say and more leeway in the relationship and can now bully you a little more. Guess whose fault that is? Yours. Because A, it's your relationship to lead. And B, that means you didn't set the expectations correctly for her to understand that just because she's leveled up doesn't mean she can now disrespect you or your authority. Still your fault. Still your fault. Still your fault. So the next time you give her a compliance test and she doesn't comply, withdraw your attention. Don't reward that behavior. Don't make her... Like, she's now thinking she can do better than you. Can you believe this, bitch? Cheat on her with her sister. It sounds like I'm joking, but I'm being dead ass. You have to do something to make her understand, like, no. I don't know who the heck you think you're talking to, but I'm still the best thing that's ever happened to you. I am the best thing that's ever happened to you. Okay? All right. 16 shouldn't be too hard to pull my teacher age of consent and get me in the UK at least. Oh, okay. All right. Cool. You ever ask her... The hardest part about pulling your teacher is time alone, in my opinion. You have to find a way to spend time with her when the other students aren't watching. The first step to being able to bag a woman you shouldn't be able to bag or should not on a societal level bag at all is secrecy and discretion. You have to find ways to communicate with her when no one else is watching. You can flirt with her. You can flirt up a storm with her, but you can't do it in front of other people. That's where most of these high school student dudes fuck up. She will listen, a lot of female, this is going to sound bad, but it's true. A lot of female teachers, especially in high school, would definitely do a lot of their students. But they can't pull the trigger on it because they know you motherfuckers are yappers. You will talk, you will say too much, and you will expose what's going on. The first step, if you really want to do your teacher, or your boss, hint, hint, wink, wink, is you make sure that no one knows about it. When you talk to her, and you talk to her nice and sexy and flirty, let's talk about anything. I don't care. The juiciness of her lips, size of her titties, color of her pants. I don't care. You can really be that aggressive. But as long as no one knows about it. It's so important. That's the first thing. All right. Second thing. When you do flirt, it's very important you do have some aggression behind it. Because here's the thing. You're flirting with a woman in a professional environment. Every other man around her is like, ooh, hello, Mrs. Johnson. How you doing today? Nice weather we're having. They talk to her like she's a robot. You have to be the one part of her day that makes her feel like a woman again. That's how you get them. Whether it's a teacher, doctor, lawyer, I don't care. As long as she's in a professional field, talk to her like she has a uterus that expands and contracts depending on how attractive she is. You see what I'm saying? Very important. It sounds like redundant or something, but I promise you, that's even more important than the discretion in some cases. Okay? All right. You got those two things down. The rest should sort itself out. All right. Bro, I've been watching your content for the last 2 days, and I'd like some coaching. Go to my profile. Go to my profile. Go to my link in my bio. You should see options there for getting on the phone with me. Go from there. Should be relatively easy. When you talk about sex being extremely important in your relationship, are you talking about how important having chemistry, or do you only specifically mean how good your S is having itself is, or both equally? Okay, so listen, don't separate the two. There is no difference between sexual chemistry and how good the sex is. They're one and the same thing. I promise you. When the sexual chemistry is up there, the sex is good. That's why it's called sexual chemistry. Don't confuse yourself now, okay? It's literally the same thing. It is literally the same thing. If when your bodies are speaking to each other, whether you're naked or not, they're speaking to each other, and they're speaking in a language that only you two can understand. And that chemistry, that ability for both of you to fit perfectly into each other like a puzzle, is more important to your relationship than you realize. Okay? Very important. All right. By point of no return is when you have fallen so far down the ladder, you're invisible. Ooh! Go get another girl. Not that there's not a way to climb back up, but trust me, especially I know how old you are, Philip. I'm not gonna. You don't have the amount of experience you need to climb out of that. So go get a new girl. Go get a new girl. Let's see. I don't see it as a bad thing. I agree with what you're saying. Awesome. Happy to hear that. I'll tag you in the video afterwards. Go ahead. Does the girl you convert into your religion stay in your religion after you break up? As last I checked, yes. Yes. Actually, she's like damn near a pastor at this point. Let's see. Do you tell women directly, I only talk to women who comply to me? It depends on where I'm at with the woman herself. I'm not telling that to a woman I just met, to be honest. I don't really care for a woman I just met that much enough to like... Because if I'm saying something like that to a girl, that means in my mind, she's completely incorporated into my life. Like, I'll say stuff like that, or most of the time what I actually say, to be honest, is like, I'll say stuff like, I'm going to manipulate you for your own good. I'll say that all the time. I'm going to manipulate you for your own good, and you're going to let it happen, okay? Good girl. Mwah. Kiss him on the forehead, right? The only way you can say that is if you're really sure that this girl is the girl you want to take on that entire journey. You know, you want to really take on this project. If you haven't decided that, then you're wasting your breath saying stuff like that, right? Let's see. No, that's crazy. I was trying to get with my ex's sister, but couldn't find any of her content info. That's funny. But yeah, do that. I got this 31-year-old I bagged. She's low-key famous on social media, though. So she has a lot of guys constantly hitting her up. Although they've usually just creeps. How do I beat out the competition? Or just generally, what should I do since she's older? She has a kid and everything. But she's fine for real. Also, I haven't told her my age yet. I'm 20 and she says she doesn't entertain anything under 25. Okay, so many moving parts here. So, as a professional fucking older bitch on social media guy myself, I am more than qualified to answer this question. This is how it works. First of all, don't worry about the other guys. I keep telling you guys, the best way to compete with other guys is to act like they don't exist. Worry about not making too many mistakes on your end. Don't worry about them. If you begin to incorporate them in your decision making, you're going to start fucking up your own game. Don't worry about the other guys. That's the first thing. Second thing, is my favorite thing to deal with, is when a woman goes, I don't deal with guys under a certain age that you aren't Jason. You know, when I was 20, they said they don't talk to guys under 25. Now I'm 29, you would think that would stop, right? Nope. I still run into women that go, I don't talk to guys under 30. Dumb shit like that. First of all, don't even take that dumb shit seriously. And I'm going to tell you why. What is the difference between, for instance, 29 and 30? There's no difference. What's the difference between 25 and 28? There's no difference. The point I'm trying to make is, their arbitrary rules are just that. Arbitrary. All right? They don't matter. They don't matter. They're rules they come up with in their own minds to make themselves feel better. So ultimately, You can get them to break those rules if you get them to invest in you properly. That's really what you're gauging throughout the entire interaction with these older women. How much investment does she have in me? And if the investment is great enough, is it great enough to break whatever rules she set as an obstacle in front of me? If no, keep it pushing, fuck her sister instead. If yes, now you got yourself a woman that you can keep around for a while, right? Secondly, or thirdly at this point, the kids are none of your business. You don't bring them up, you don't talk about them. As far as you're concerned, her kids don't exist. This is, whether you're dating an older woman, younger woman, I don't care what age of woman you're talking to. Never acknowledge the existence of the kids because you're not there to play fucking stepdaddy. That is not your job. Okay? The kids don't exist. Treat them like they don't. Alright? Okay, cool. That's as far as it goes with like bagging older women. Let's see. Secrecy and discretion. Does that apply to a staff member at my college who I want? Yes. Literally it does. She forex her salary and been hitting the gym. Oh, been hitting the gym. You're British, aren't you? But yeah, I've been withdrawing attention. I'm gonna have to let her catch me cheating again to remind her I don't mind losing her. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's kind of funny. When the women always find a way to be a victim. That's the best thing about women. They're so funny like that. If you're psychologically better than her and you cheat on her, they're gonna be like, oh, it's because you feel like you can do better than me. I can't take that disrespect. If she feels like she's the one psychologically better than you and you cheat on her, then she's gonna be like, oh, you're trying to humble me. So no matter when you cheat, they're still the victim. So just cheat anyway. Doesn't matter. Get caught. Also, make sure that this is very important, especially in this situation. Make sure the chick that you cheat on her with is way better than her. Like, whatever dream body she wants to have after hitting gym, go and get a chick that already has that. Cheat on her, and then I'll be like, oh man, oh babe, I didn't even mean to. I kind of fell and slipped into that. I'm sorry. You might as well cheat, man. No matter when you do it, she's gonna call herself a victim anyway. Let's see. Me and her already have a playful tone between us, though, from our previous interactions. Oh yeah, for sure. Just again, secrecy and discretion, okay? How can I beg my girl coworker who has a boyfriend? We already go out and eat by ourselves, but want to steal the day? I don't know what that means. But anyway, compliance. You want to ask for higher grade of compliance. If you're already eating out, do you already have a number? Get a number. See what happens there. Ask for greater levels of compliance and go from there. Damn, so that S chemistry is actually a great measuring stick for compatibility in your girl. Literally. Yes, it literally is. Thanks, Jace. No problem. By the way, I had a question I never heard an answer to. How do you think dating works in LGBT community? A lot of very big similarities, actually, to be honest, but a lot of extremities involved as well. So you have two guys. What are guys biologically incentivized to get on, for instance, a first date situation? Sex, right? So in the LGBTQ community, specifically in the gay community for guys, there's a lot of boinging going on there. Now for girls, it's entirely different because women aren't as driven or incentivized by sex as men are. So when two women get together, what do you think their priority is? Exactly, emotional intimacy and all that crazy stuff. I used to date a girl that, was fresh out of the lesbian community, right, when I met her. And she would make all these jokes about how lesbian couple dates would last 5 hours. And the joke was simple, which is like, when women get together, all they care about is emotional intimacy, right? So it's just two people that are looking to get to know each other more, and then the sex becomes like a weird afterthought. She will tell me stories about how she literally met her ex-girlfriends in like a coffee shop. They talked all day at the coffee shop. They spent the night at each other's apartments the next few weeks, and they just never moved out of each other's life. Like, this particular one girl, she told me, moved in with her by the end of that week. And I'm like, oh, that's normal with lesbians. Very normal, right? But yeah, it's still the same rules though, fundamentally. There's still going to be one that's masculine, one that's going to be feminine, and then all the masculine roles will be taken on by the masculine entity, and all the feminine roles will be taken on by the feminine entity. And it'll go from there. The problem, though, is when it's two people of the same gender, they tend to disagree more, which I've always thought was very interesting. I understand men and women disagreeing because we're very different creatures, and we have different priorities, right? Especially in a relationship setting. But two dudes apparently solve their disagreements a lot differently than two women do. I find that very interesting. Very, very interesting. And there's also usually a lot of violence involved, especially when it comes to lesbian couples. That's a whole different study you can go do your research on yourself. But whatever, that's what I think about it. I'm talking to two girls. How do I get them to comply with me on being a throuple? Well, you get one, and then you get the other, and then you go, by the way, I got this other girl, and you say that exact same thing to both girls, and then you say, you know, I can introduce both of you, and then you introduce them, and then you go from there. So, yeah, do that. It's like, there's no, I always tell you guys, there's no trick, guys. There's like, oh, this is the system. Like, no, that's what you want, right? You want two girls, and you want them to fuck you and each other. Okay, then, say that. Literally, stop being a pussy. Say that. I failed to get some women in front of my class. I think going after another girl will mess up my rep. It's already messed up if you've already failed that many times in front of your class. It's already messed up, Philip. Go to the next class, my boy. What is a discreet version of telling her I only talk to women who comply if she asks why I'm ignoring her for not complying? Oh, you're using you're withdrawing your time and attention as a way to punish her for her behavior. Well, you don't tell her that then. You just give her another compliance test. Again, actions speak louder than words. Don't tell her you're punishing her for her lack of compliance, and don't tell her that you'll only start rewarding her for complying to you. Instead, you go, oh, good to see you again, and then boom, into the next compliance test. If she agrees and she gives you the compliance you're looking for, then you reward that. Give her more time and attention. If she doesn't agree, then you ignore her again. You repeat that cycle till she gets it. I mean, can it work long term if she has a 4-year-old? Also, how? Well, how what? That you cut off there, Dirty Dre. I've gotten to a point where I have like 10 girls I could have, but honestly, nothing against having. But that wouldn't even be something I want. Most of them don't have any value, don't add any value to my life. I'd much prefer just my favorite one, or like 2 or 3 at most. It's just wasted effort to maintain them. Okay. I mean, you'd be surprised how much your opinion of that changes as time goes on. Because the only reason you think like that is because you haven't gone and had those 2 or 3 girls. Go and have them first and then see how you feel. I'm not saying it'll change per se, but I'm just saying there's a good chance it will. You know? Can you convert a lesbian to a straight and have you ever done it, and how would you do it? By the way, say pause to all my weird questions. Thank you, by the way. Pause indeed. Again, I keep telling you guys, you're asking me how to get girls to a certain level of compliance, and it's the same thing we keep talking about all the time. It's not a special move or a special set of techniques or list of words you say. No. It's just getting her to the point where she feels like she can give up on pussy forever to come be with you and your dick. That's it. It's just emotional and psychological investment, deep, strong, hard, over a long period of time. That's it. Making her feel things she's never felt before. Making her feel a wide range of emotions she's never felt before. That's it. That's it. I gotta go soon, guys. I definitely gotta go soon. But, you know, lesbian divorce rate being like 95% is hilarious to me. It is, you know, but it's it's like I don't want to say the blind leading the blind, but that's exactly what it is, to be honest. It's two people that don't have the capacity for leadership. And you wonder why it ends up in those explosive arguments. Things don't get explosive when someone knows how to lead. If nobody knows how to lead, everybody's getting frisky. You know what I'm saying? Bro, I see you in your eyes, but not your face. Fair enough. And my mouth. All right, on my way to tell him. Tell him what? Let's see. I think I worded what I said earlier incorrect. Let me try to rephrase. Okay. Hey, Eminent, Jesus Christ is God and loves you. Repent, believe the gospel. Only He saves you from hell. Amen. I'd much rather have lesser girls I can deeply connect with and have great conversations with. Oh, including the physical ones, and having 10 empty relationships. That makes more sense, I hope. That's literally what I do. Why do you think I keep telling you guys I'm not a big fan of one-night stands? The idea of one-night stands truly disgusts me. Because, one, why are you smashing girls and leaving? The only reason to do that is if you don't really like the girl anyway. And two, if you do really like the girl, then why would you want to smash her just once? It's the same kind of thing I'm talking about. It's like, I like the part of the relationship past the sex part. Like, the sex is cool, but it's the part that happens after that I'm looking forward to. The deep intimacy, the deep connection. I really fuck with that shit. Right? A lot of guys won't admit that, but it's true. I really like that part. And I like that part a lot. Because I know what I get out of it. It's awesome. You know what I'm saying? Like, getting a girl to get naked with you is one thing. Getting a girl to change her entire lifestyle for you. Now that's a different kind of validation. You feel me? Love that. Homework before you go. I finished the other one. Okay. What was the last homework I gave you guys? Homework am I going to give you guys? Alright, here's your new homework. Your new homework is you're going to find at least 5 girls for the next week. And you're going to tell all these 5 girls the exact same thing. It's going to be a story. The most embarrassing day of your life. You're going to describe in detail what happened, how it happened, where, when, why it happened. You're going to feel the emotions of how embarrassed you were. I'm talking like, if you're white listening to me right now, you better turn red when you're saying the story. And you're going to do that to 5 different girls throughout the course of the next week. Most embarrassing story of your life. I don't care what it is either. You got caught doing something you weren't supposed to do. Pants were down at school. I had the story once of this guy that got caught getting his pee-pee licked by his family dog because he put peanut butter on his pee-pee. Yes, say that story too. Don't even cower away from it, you sick fucks. Say that story. But yeah, that's your homework. What did Will Smith and Logan do wrong? Oh, that's simple. They allowed themselves to act like 6s even though they can be realistically 10s. That's it. They allowed a woman and her love and her validation to become more important than their self-respect. That's what they did. I was trying to say I got to the point where I could make them all mine, but now that I can, I don't see the point. Feels like wasted effort just to prove I can get that many girls. No, I always tell people, it's never about the numbers. Get the ones you actually like. Always. Don't waste your time dealing with girls you don't like, dude. Bro, how do you get to the deep intimacy? That's what my channel is for. Watch everything. Watch every video I've ever put out. or watch the last part of the interview like course. Link in my bio. I'm still in awe about the teacher answer. Why? It's the easiest answer ever. It's the easiest. I mean, it's. I guess it's not obvious to most people, but yeah, it's the most effective way to get her, for sure. It's the most effective way to get her. Secrecy and discretion. First of all, you can flirt up a storm with her. Just do it in the broom closet. All right. That's exactly what I'm saying. That intimacy is something I only experience with one in so many. Absolutely. Love that. Yeah. And I'd rather much have one girl of that kind of amount without. That's true. Me too. That's why I only got 4 girls. I mean, I've slept with hundreds of women in my life. I only got 4 girlfriends. Really do the math on that. I'm doing a lot less than I could. But you see, even in my way of life, I'm still very picky. You know? Good chat indeed, guys. Hey, I'm happy for you guys that have actually stayed since the beginning. I'm grateful for that. Thank you so much for actually being here and using all this information and all that good stuff. Gotta go soon, so I'm gonna boost through these and get out of here. Don't you think her being that passionate to anyone, but especially you, could backfire? What are we talking about right now? Passionate? Are we talking about the emotional intimacy thing again? Where emotionally having an affair with someone else? Passion is passion, guys. You just have to learn how to direct it towards you. Whatever emotion she feels, she has to feel towards you. The passion she has is not a bad thing. It's what direction is it going in. That's what you got to worry about. But if I tell the most embarrassing story, how would that make these 5 women respect me? It won't build a relationship from that. That's because that's never the point, Jim. The point of this exercise is not to gain respect from these women. The point of this exercise is to get comfortable being in a vulnerable, weak state in front of women and allowing that anxiety to pass through your body without failing yourself. That's the point of that exercise. The exercise is to get you comfortable at making mistakes in front of women. That's the point. Sex advice? Fall in love with foreplay. That's the advice for today when it comes to that. Fall in love with foreplay. Glad we're on the same page there. Yes, sir. I'm new to trying to get hotter girls. What behaviors should I employ? Become super disagreeable. Become the kind of guy that's controversial in his opinions. I have an entire series if you want to get more in depth on that. It's called How to Pull Tens. It's on my YouTube. Dark game. No. We gotta spread it out like once a month type shit. Your lives are the best. Thank you. Hello, Jace. I'm back from BJJ. And I'm about to be gone, Nep. God damn it. I'm going to go now because I have to eat right now because of Ramadan. Oh, yeah. Please. For those of you fasting for Ramadan, go eat right now, please. If it's already past dark in your corner of the earth, please go eat something. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate you too, AMO1. People love the dog game. I feel that. Honestly, most of the 10s I've talked to were genuinely boring to me. Like, yeah, they're beautiful, but there's no substance or character to them. You're not getting... Okay, that's one thing. They're gonna be boring if you allow them to be. Beautiful women are not boring if you talk about the right things with them. Every bitch, like, if you try to talk to a girl about anime, she's not gonna have much, usually, to contribute when it comes to that. But if you talk to them about stuff like zodiac signs, spirituality, astrology, all that goofy shit, that's where they reign supreme. All of a sudden, these boring girls light the fuck up and they start talking like a fucking Harvard professor. You see what I'm saying? They have a personality. It's just not one you're familiar with because you don't know what their talking points are. That's all. Always great to be in your live. I noticed you aren't just a dating mentor. You got a lot more to just dating. For sure, man. Absolutely. Love them ones that are 10s in looks and got character too. What was the previous dark game before I leave? No! What are your top 5 anime? Classroom of the Elite, No Game No Life, Attack on Titan, Kakegurui, probably Death Note, yeah. Ah, no. Take away Kakegurui and put in Code Geass. Alright, I gotta go, guys. Gotta go. Appreciate you guys so much. Love you guys so much. I will be here, God willing, tomorrow. I should be here tomorrow. But thank you so much for being on the live. I appreciate you guys. Love you, love you, love you, love you. I will be here. And I'm about to go eat something and fuck one of my bitches. But I hope you guys have an even better night. I appreciate you guys, and I'll be here tomorrow, okay? Same time. It should be somewhere around 5 or 6 p.m. EDT, okay? All right. See you guys tomorrow. Love you. And again, it's been Jason, Favorite Scientist. Do with this information what you must.